Excuse me. So we just had some interesting developments in the pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we...
Hold on. Let me get my stream up on YouTube so I can see comments. And then we'll talk about it. Because this was almost the best day ever. Almost. Goddamn, I don't know why I went straight to the YouTube app. I know I can't see my stream there. Come on. Stupid fucking YouTube app. Jesus, man. Alright. So as soon as I can see comments, I'll tell you guys. If you weren't watching the pre-race show just now, we almost saw something really cool. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. was about to be in this race. Michael Annett has a leg injury, and they were scrambling to find a driver to drive the one car, and Dale Jr. just said he was almost about to go down there and get in the one car. Like, Dale Jr. was about to be in this race. So he didn't have a helmet, and they were trying to figure something out, but yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr. almost ended up in this race just now. I don't know who they got to get in the one car because I didn't see, but Michael Annett's not in the one. Dale Jr. was going to drive it, but they found somebody else. So Jr. gets to stay up in the booth and do his job. That would have been incredible. What a treat. Imagine if you bought a ticket to this race and you realize that Dale Jr. was going to be in it. But no, Austin Dillon is going to be in the one car. They said they were looking at Jordan Anderson, B.J. McLeod, Austin Dillon, Dale Jr., and they got Austin Dillon. So Austin Dillon, who's not supposed to be here till tomorrow, luckily was here today. And Austin Dillon will be in the one car. And oh yeah, it's Kyle Busch's final Xfinity race. Trying to scroll Twitter to see everybody's reaction to Dale Jr. talking about how he might have to get in the one car. I don't know how Michael Annett got injured. I'm not sure how it happened, or I'm guessing I'm guessing that's why he didn't race at Knoxville last night, though he dodged a bullet there. He would have definitely got hurt if he stayed at Knoxville with the way that race was going. But yeah, crisis averted. Austin Dillon in the one car for Junior Motorsports. Once again, the race is on NBCSN. I am watching on the NBC Sports app on my smart TV, so my race broadcast that I'm watching is about 45 seconds behind, so I have to move my computer away so I don't get spoiled by the leaderboard, like if there's a caution or something. You guys are going to be way ahead of me, like always when I watch on the NBC app, but there you have it. Man, I wish Junior would have gotten that one car. That would have been awesome. I don't know how Junior would have fit in Michael Annett's seat if he had to get in the car. I gotta text my dad about that. He'll get a kick out of that. What a story that would have been. What's up, Michael? Hey, Michael, did you see that Dale Jr. was almost in this race? Like I said, we're on the NBC app, so my broadcast is going to be a lot behind the leaderboard, about 40 to 45 seconds. But I don't want to watch this race in standard definition on a 4K TV, so we're just going to suffer with me being behind. I think there's a strong chance it might rain tomorrow on the Cup race, but the forecast tomorrow evening is really good, so tomorrow could be a night race. I haven't checked the weather since last night, but last night I looked and it looked like it was going to rain a lot Sunday afternoon. So it could be a night race tomorrow. Hopefully it'll just go off as scheduled. But I wouldn't mind a night race at Atlanta. Something different. Cup cars fucking suck at this place, and they're going to suck even worse next year, but that's another story. Let's enjoy today, the last time a race at Atlanta will probably be watchable.
I really enjoyed every moment I can get in a race car. I feel like I can't get enough of it. This sport, it consumes you. Once you're in, you're on.
Heck yeah, boys. Yes, sir. You did it, bud. You realize we just won at Darlington?
I know what it takes for out front. I know what it takes to win races.
And for the fourth time this season, Austin Cindric has scored the checkered flag.
Austin Dillon in the 1 car, Kyle Busch in the 54.
Austin Dillon.
I'm guessing Michael Annett will get a medical waiver for the playoffs because he's missing this race due to injury. I don't know what the deal with Michael Annett's injury is.
Who's another name that we got to keep our eye on?
Well, hey, Rick, it's been tough sledding lately for Justin Haley, this Kaulig Racing 11 car. In their last 4 races, their best finish is just a 9th, but they're confident that today at Atlanta could be a turnaround. Justin's run well in all 3 of his starts here, including...
Ty Dillon's probably throwing all the furniture in his house. If he'd have been in Atlanta, he could have gotten the 1 car. But instead, Austin Dillon gets the 1 car.
Dylan, if there's one driver that's been able to keep up with Kyle Busch at the mile-and-a-half lately, it's been Justin Allgaier. In fact, he has finished second to Kyle Busch twice at the last 2 mile-and-a-halves, but he won here in the spring. I asked him what the key to that win was. He said, taking it easy early in the run on my car, and more importantly, my tires. We're going to hear about tires all afternoon long. Justin Allgaier thinks he might have a plan to win once again in Atlanta, Dave.
Marty, after Riley Herbst crashed out at Pocono 2 races ago, his crew chief Richard Boswell had some advice. Some drivers you can race by 2 inches, other drivers you better give them a couple of feet, or we won't be able to make up that 43-point deficit to the cut line and get ourselves in the playoffs. But you know what could be even better? A fast Mustang that can get Riley Herbst to victory lane and win his way into the playoffs. That could happen today. Rick?
Yeah, trying to turn things around for Riley Herbst and get into those playoffs, and it would take a win right now as he's just outside of the top 12. You know, this racetrack has been so good to the Reagan family. David has been able to run here and run legends in so many cars. Father Ken has to be so proud that today Adam Reagan, that's David's older brother right there, is going to give the command to fire the engine. So we're going to turn it over to Adam Reagan.
One moment.
He's here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome today's Grand Marshal for the Credit Karma Money 250, Adam Reagan.
One of his drivers is hurt.
Flowers! Start your engine!
Driver for today last second, and Dale Jr. was about to go get in the car and race, but they found somebody last minute.
You got front time out there? You got me up here on the shoulder.
What? Junior's gonna fucking race. I'm so disappointed.
With conviction, we hear it from Adam Reagan.
Oh no, I dropped my remote. If Herbst wins, I get $20, eh? Huh. Well. In some parallel universe where it would be possible for Riley Herbst to win an Xfinity race at a place like Atlanta, I would be awfully excited. Had a lot of chances to win money last night. None of it worked out, despite the 3,500 cautions with 2 laps to go. Wonder what Dale Jr.'s odds would have been last minute here if he had to get in the 1 car. I'm looking at, if you're looking for a surprise winner today, Daniel Hemrick would be a good one to watch, I think. Is Austin Dillon about to expose how bad Michael Annett really is? He did 1 race last year. He usually does 1 a year. His next one is in September, but he was legit about to run down and get in the car. And I was like, fuck! wish he would have. IndyCar, dude, IndyCar's never gonna. Are you crazy? IndyCar will never race at Atlanta, especially not with the configuration they're about to have next year. I'd be fucking stupid. The track's gonna be like 2 lanes wide, and they'd be going like 200. It'd be like Las Vegas when Dan Weldon died all over again. So no, IndyCar's never gonna race at Atlanta, dude. It's never gonna happen. I just want to see IndyCar back at Michigan. Atlanta, that'll never happen. That could have happened, but it won't happen now. Not after Atlanta gets fucked up next year. Yeah, Indy at Atlanta's never going to happen now. I'm sorry. Could you imagine IndyCar on this Atlanta, though, with the worn-out track surface? Like, how the fuck would that even work? Like, that'd be bad enough, wouldn't it? That'd be crazy. IndyCar on 1997 Atlanta would be nice. That's what they should have done with Atlanta. Like, jack up the banking, sure, but could we not go back to the regular shaped oval of the old Atlanta? That would be pretty cool. When I saw it work the other day, I pulled out my phone. I was like, oh, Atlanta Motor Speedway is getting reconfigured. I'm like, oh, shit, are they going back to the old Atlanta? And then my heart slowly sank as I started to read the track description of what they're doing, and then I saw that little iRacing clip, and I'm like, really? They just want it to be fucking little Daytona? Like, fucking come on. So lame. It's going to be like the dumbest race ever. It's going to be one groove on the bottom. It's going to be a repave, so they are literally going to be one groove on the bottom. Single file. But at least they'll be close together.
Spend and save. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Toyota.
Cannot believe Dale Jr. almost got in the one car today. Fuck. I wish he would have.
Credit1.com.
Austin Cindric is the Xfinity Series champion.
The guys that I'm racing against all want what I have.
You're the champion for a reason, and you're the champion until somebody beats you.
Austin Cindric Haynes, the monster.
I can't be comfortable with my situation. You see guys running over each other 15 laps into a race because they want it so bad.
You got Haley to beat Mayer and Herbst to beat Moffitt, and Gregson beats AJ. Those are, well, Gregson beating AJ is going to be a tough one. I think Haley's going to beat Mayer. Herbst beating Moffitt's still going to be an upset, even though the equipment should favor Riley Herbst.
Every single lap is almost like qualifying. You got to be on top of it from the drop to the rag.
And we're about to drop the rag.
Last race on good Atlanta.
Money 250. Field working their way around this mile-and-a-half track. Let's take a look at the starting grid for today's race. Kyle Busch. It's been said this could be his very last Xfinity Series race ever. He's looking to make it 5 straight wins in a row. He'll start beside Daniel Hemrick in row 1.
The series finale of the Kyle Busch Show, once and for all, ladies and gentlemen. 101 wins, going for 102 in his final start, allegedly. But I believe him. Hey, Todd Dillon is there. Okay, Todd Dillon's in the 23. I didn't know that. I was making fun of Todd Dillon earlier for not being in the 1 car, but he's racing the 23. Wow, I did not know that. I had no idea who the fuck was in that 23. So yeah, fuck what I said earlier. I didn't look at the entry list, and there's no practice or qualifying, so sometimes these Xfinity and truck races are a mystery to me when I turn them on. I like the new green walls at Atlanta, although it reminds me of Kentucky. I don't know. It kind of makes me uncomfortable. Anything that reminds me of Kentucky, and that reconfiguration next year is going to remind me of Kentucky. You think the new Atlanta is going to be bad? Wait till they start slapping PJ1 in that outer groove, because that's what they're going to do, because the race is going to be dog shit. They need to take a damn pressure washer out to Texas Motor Speedway and spray down that high groove to get that fucking black shit off.
Joe Gibbs Racing, how do you beat your teammate today, Kyle Busch?
It has to be perfect. You know, that's the level he brings, so we have to match that. It would be an awesome opportunity for us to go try and beat the best there is. So, you know, I think really highly of Kyle as a driver, and have to go try and beat him.
All right, man. Well, good luck today. Great paint scheme you have there with the offer pad. We love the in-car cameras, and I know it was completely your idea for that awesome-looking hood on that car.
You said that with jest, I'm sure. The field coming down pit road right now, as you see the picture of Harrison that's right on the hood of that.
So during the race, I might have to like leave for a minute because a friend of mine's coming by to pick up her mail, but it'll be later in the race, so I might have to step outside for a couple minutes. Just giving you guys a heads up now.
Hey, for Jeremy Clements, there have been a string of solid runs that once again has him in position for the playoffs, but he is on the bubble, 12th out of 12. A mechanical failure last week at Road America, he finished 28th, even though he was still running at the end. Here's the problem. Atlanta has not been good to him. He's never had a top 10 finish. Dylan, he needs to run well today to maintain that position or gain on that bubble.
And Dave, as Junior said,
Which Dylan's 15 to 1?
Austin
Austin or Ty? Are we talking about Austin 15 to 1?
Working with NASCAR orthopedics, but Michael has decided to sit out today. It's the same ailment that sidelined him from the truck race last night, hence the driver change there too. So during our countdown to green show, the team was adjusting the seat mold, making sure Austin was fitted in the car. Everything he needs to be comfortable today was set to his liking, but he even had to ask how to get the car started. That's how quickly this has all come together. So we obviously send our best to Michael, and again, Austin Dillon behind the wheel of the one this afternoon, Marty.
Dylan, for years, Kyle Busch has said when he got to 100 Xfinity Series wins, he would call it quits. Then this morning, he sent this tweet out on the way down to Atlanta, contemplating all the years of Xfinity Series racing, 100 wins. He actually has 101. Let's go get
1-0 wins.
And because of that, I asked Kyle before the race, is this indeed your last Xfinity Series race? He said, it is. He said, you know, you never
Kyle Busch reiterated again, this is his final Xfinity start. So soak it in, guys.
So sitting at 101 wins, can he go out with 102?
Austin Dillon's 15 to 1. Put a little prop bet on him, Michael.
Onboard camera with Kyle Busch, and what is very likely, Rick, is
Telling you, Austin Dillon could be a factor here. I know he hasn't driven these cars in a while. He's never driven a Junior Motorsports car. He's in somebody else's seat.
There's been a lot of changes.
We'll see.
They sure have, Rick. You know, they broke ground in 58, started racing here in 60. You've had huge names like Tim Flock, Rex White, of course, the Elliott's race here.
I'm going to miss old Atlanta.
The backstretch was the front stretch. So all the changes.
Ties 100 to 1.
Yeah. Here in Atlanta, but it's not just names that were made on the track. The fans have always loved this place. The old Beaver Grandstand, people talk about you'd have to fight your way out of that party. Legendary fan names like Bram Inn, Lil Jon, Josh Doty, even Beetle, the beer funnel guy. This place has always been home to fans, and hopefully it's a great race.
Atlanta Roval coming 2023. No.
Thank you, Rod. And Junior, I know you've had
somebody wrecked Kyle Busch to end his Xfinity career. Wouldn't that be something?
When everybody talks about repaving, you're like, no, it's character. That's a lot of character. Talk to us a little bit about this track.
Yeah, she's an old bumpy place. A lot of fun for the drivers.
Hey, Dale Jr., remember Atlanta 2004? It's where we lost the championship.
40 laps for stage 1 and 2. 83 laps at that final stage.
I'm just old enough to remember old Atlanta. Just old enough. Pretty sure it's in NASCAR 98. That's the extent of my old Atlanta knowledge, because I played NASCAR 98 as a child, and that was the last game to have oval-shaped Atlanta. And we're coming to the green. Kyle Busch, Daniel Hemrick, A.J. Allmendinger, my pick, Austin Cindric, Harrison Burton, and Justin Allgaier, Justin Haley, and Riley Herbst, the top 10.
Track temperature, 136 degrees. The 54 on the inside, Kyle Busch maybe making his final
last start.
ever in the Xfinity Series.
The Kyle Busch show is over after today. Inside line on these starts and restarts always takes off. They've got a 4-car advantage. They're 3 wide for 4th. Hemrick on the outside didn't get a launch. Cindric went 3 wide on them. They're both just losing spots off of 2. Oh, they kicked up a lot of dust off of 2. Hemrick, hang on, buddy. 3 wide in the middle now. cuts off the 98 to get on the bottom. Kyle Busch, Allmendinger, and Haley get away with the lead. Haley went all the way from like 7th place to 3rd for just being on the inside line. There's a comp caution at lap 20, by the way.
Junior, you mentioned a bumpy racetrack. 1 and 2, a lot of bumps down there that they got to negotiate around.
Yeah, the bumps are the worst right on the bottom groove of the racetrack.
Today is a day that will show why we have the choose rule, because that outside line just sucks on these restarts. I guess one good thing, the Atlanta repave will cure that, I'm sure. The outside line won't be such a death sentence.
You drive off in turn 1, the car lands really, really hard down at the bottom of the racetrack, and then it's extremely rough. You're trying to keep that left front tire right on that green line. There's a little bit extra grip on the paint, but it is really rough. Jerking the steering wheel around in your hands, pretty hard to keep the car connected to that bottom.
Junior, this is one of those racetracks that, unlike a high grade,
Dale Jr. running in would have been like Burt Reynolds in the Longest Yard remake going into the game.
The 7 of Justin Allgaier, that can actually be worse on your tires. You got to be really careful not to eat them off right at the start of this race.
Yeah, that bottom groove is used so much. It's a bit more polished, a bit less abrasive, and as the rubber gets put down on that most often used groove,
Hemrick settled into 7th, Cindric in 6th. They had a bad start to this race.
maybe more speed, but how long will it last? You see the 51 car, Jerry Clement showing you that. Running that high line, create more speed, but how much life are you taking off of your tires doing that?
Because of the driver change.
Oh my God. Quit fucking messaging me. I don't need a blow-by-blow of the traffic problems. Just come get your fucking mail. Austin Dillon had to ask who his spotter and crew chief were. He's moving forward. Look at Jeremy Clements passing Hemrick and Cindric off of 2. Cindric looks really slow. He was so slow I thought Cindric had a problem.
The car unfamiliar, didn't really know how to start the car, which switches or what. Also coming down pit road, you don't know the pit sign. So if we do have a pit stop that's critical for this team, trying to understand
anxious car owner Dale Jr. watches on.
Jeremy Clements making the high line work there in the 51. Dave.
Jeremy Clements just passed Daniel Hemrick and Austin Cindric. Good for you, man.
You can tell he's raced for a long time. Been in the Cup Series, been in the Xfinity Series because he didn't.
You're thinking of Jason Garrett.
No word from the driver on anything wrong with the car. Just
not Jarrett.
And the spotter's been coaching him through ever since. The best thing he heard was that turn 3, clear low. He got to the bottom of the racetrack and is trying to recover now in the 18.
And that's interesting.
Hey, look, Riley Herbst is not in the top 10. He lasted about a lap or 2 in the top 10. Riley Herbst has dropped to 14th. Come on, man, that's not going to win me money.
So slick, hard to get the power down, and you see the gap that the guys are able to put between each other. You got to run a guy down, then try to get around him. It takes a lot of time, a lot of great laps.
Brandon Jones passes Jeb Burton, and Allgaier passes Jeb Burton. Jeb Burton falls out of the top 10. The Kyle Busch show up front as we expected. I almost didn't stream this today. I almost didn't stream this, by the way.
He said it was just taking it easy on my car early in a run, and especially the tires. He was so good in the second half of a run here in March. So how does a driver at a tough racetrack like this take it easy on the car and the tires?
Jeb Burton back to the inside of Allgaier for 10th. Good battle.
Stay out of that high groove, to be honest with you.
Junior saying stay out of the high groove as Allgaier goes really high because he's on the outside of the 10.
Higher on the racetrack.
It's a 40-lap stage. You're not going to pit at this competition caution if you want to save your tires, your sets of tires.
Makes you look like a hero, but on the back end of the run, you're really going to suffer. You're not going to have the grip.
And then you see Jeb Burton and Mike Snyder both moving up high.
And it makes me think that these guys plan on changing tires at the competition yellow. Some guys we thought had stretched the first set of tires to lap 40 last year and earlier this year, but without a truck race or any kind of rubber on the racetrack, I don't know if they'll be able to make.
Let's just be glad that this race is nothing like the truck race last night. It's going to be a boring Kyle Busch race. That is a great onboard camera for Kyle Busch. You see this camera looking over his right shoulder? That is a great camera. Some of my favorite onboard cameras are the ones that are like next to the driver in the car. has ADD so bad. I've never seen a little cat with ADD like that. It's the Kyle Busch show for the last time. Oh my God. What? Get the fuck off that road. It's fucking cursed. Hey, you guys want a traffic report about Spartanburg, South Carolina? Because I'm fucking getting one right now against my will from somebody who won't leave me the fuck alone. You want somebody to shoot out Kyle Busch's tire? Well, Chris Kyle's dead, sir, so he's not here. Chris Kyle, the American Sniper, is dead. So we can't count on him. And it's not a Batman game, so Deadshot can't do it. Coverage will resume shortly. I forgot that I'm on the app, so I can unmute it before the commercial's over. We'll see where Austin Dillon's running at the competition caution. He was moving forward slowly. One thing I will give Austin Dillon, he can drive the fuck out of an Xfinity car. He always could. His brother sure couldn't, but he can. Let's get ready for the pointless competition caution that like nobody's going to pit for if this race ever comes back on. This is a really long commercial. Or is my app just frozen or something? There we go. We're back. 120 degrees in the cockpit of Kyle Busch's car. Kyle Busch really puts the cock in cockpit, doesn't he? He is your leader, though. Shocking. Hey, at least the Xfinity races will be like really something to look forward to the rest of the year now. That is a great paint scheme on the 54. Love that car. Daniel Hemrick's dropped to 8th place. No change in the top 5, really. Busch is slowly gapping Allmendinger. It was about a second at commercial. Now it's about 1.7, but we got a caution coming in like 4 laps. And we got a change for 3rd. Harrison Burton to the outside of Haley through some lap traffic. There was a lap car back there that brought this on. He was running Haley down anyway.
Yeah, I'd have to be trying to fill my crew chief with as much information about what the car feels like and what I think the tires may be doing. Latard, what is it that you can do from top of the pit box to understand where the tire wear is going early in this run? Well, the first thing we would have done is had a conversation at the start because I would.
Ty Dillon's up to 15th. Ty Dillon's having a decent run so far back there, laying low, going forward. This is a good battle for 3rd place right now. Haley and Harrison Burton have traded this the last couple of laps. And now Burton takes the spot, and he's all clear on the bottom.
I don't want to change tires. Our goal is to just get this first set of tires to lap.
Here comes Noah Gregson up behind Haley for 4th. Haley's really struggling here towards the end of this run. This caution couldn't come fast enough if you're a Justin Haley fan.
We talked to him earlier this week. He said, you know, when we went in for the photo shoot on this, he said, kind of channel your Step Brothers movie in this photo shoot. He's like, well, okay, I guess we'll do it. And so he's got a little ribbing from that.
Gregson into 4th.
Hey, Rick, and on that conversation,
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a good day for Gregson, so this might be the one time I'm happy to see Kyle Busch win a race.
Moved an inch off the bottom of the racetrack. I would assume if you're Chris Gale, you probably feel a little bit better about that. There's Kyle right on the bottom of 1 and 2. When you're low on the racetrack, that takes care of that right front a little bit more.
And when you go to a 1-second lead, he has not gone any harder. I believe he came out to a manageable lead, and Chris Gale and Kyle Busch have a plan here. You know, the biggest way you're going to lose this
Hemrick and
race
Cindric
is to have a tire
back and forth for 7th.
Make sure you take care of those tires, and I think a lot of about this right here, Jeff, is kind of some give and take with these top 5 or 6 cars. Who dares go the hardest?
I think so. I mean, the last race here, almost no one stopped this competition caution. I think that's the strategy today.
Then why are we having it?
Why push it right now?
We're on lap 20, so next time around should be a yellow.
It just absolutely destroys tires.
Shout out to Jeremy Clements, still running well up in the top 10. Starting to fade there now. He's running the high line, just looking for enough speed to stay in front of the 18, but I don't think he's gonna. Cindric's struggling right now.
You slip that tire, it hurts it.
So there's lap 20 done with, and we have a caution.
All right, so now you're saying if you want to win the race, you shouldn't come to pit road.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'd be willing to take the risk as a driver and a crew chief to stay out here and have that extra.
Yeah, I'm staying out to have the extra set of tires. I remember last year in the Xfinity race here, the one last year during the pandemic, Cindric's team pitted under the comp caution and were totally fucked late in the race because they didn't have tires. You've got to save these tires.
You got tires nobody else does at a place like this, you're going to win the race.
Some teams on pit road are looking as though
Teams have tires up on the wall, but I don't buy for a second anybody's going to pit
our
here.
team got a little bit bigger this weekend, and we are so thankful that Folds of Honor came and joined us as a part of our family, our NBC Sports family here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 3 different families have been able to enjoy the behind-the-scenes look at what we do in the television world, and we've been able to enjoy their company and thank them for what they've done for our country. And so, again, we want to thank all of those that are here with us and all those military personnel. Thank you once again for what you do. And again, thank our family here from Folds of Honor for joining us.
How incredible it was to have those guys with us today, spend some time with them, the real heroes of our country. A chance to spend time with them is an honor.
Well, as they roll down the backstretch behind the pace car, pit road will be open. It's kind of decision time, and I don't see a lot of
Staying out. God, this race is dull just because Kyle Busch is in it. I literally have nothing to talk about. Kyle Busch is leading, and this caution's a pointless waste of time. Much like that entire truck race last night, a waste of time.
You know, if Herbst in 14th in points, 43 points out of the playoffs, if he came and got a set of tires right here, he's almost assured to gain some stage points. So it might hurt his overall finish of the race. But you see
Michael Annett, because he's missing the race, is now on the playoff bubble. He's having such a good year, and he's dropped to 12th in points here.
He's not going to receive that today because he didn't start the one. So
Cindric's pitting. Do you guys not remember this race last year, or do they just think their car's so bad? Cindric, I think that's Brandon Brown. No, it's Ryan Sieg. I couldn't tell what his car looked like. It's Cindric, Sieg, and a bunch of back markers are pitting. I don't agree with this. 22 cars.
There will be no tires taken on the stop. Just some fairly significant adjustments.
Oh, okay, so they're not taking tires on the 22. They're just making adjustments. Good. About to say. Can't burn a set of tires. They learned nothing from last year. Cindric's car was definitely not good at the start here. No tires on a lot of these guys, from what I can tell.
Like the gentleman reaching under the hood of the 22 right there at the top of your screen. He looked at the splitter, reaches in there. I bet he's going to come out with a little Packer shim in his hands, lowering that car in the corners, Rick.
It's the Kyle Busch Show. Saturday afternoon. Boy, I wish this race would hurry up and get over with. So there's a new fake Twitter account. It's called Blobpocris. And he's really convincing if you just glance at it. And he said, breaking news, Dodge to return to NASCAR's top 3 series in 2023. Let me see how many people fell for this. Best looking Gen 6 car. It's a picture of the Gen 6 Dodge car. Remember, they actually made a Gen 6 car for Dodge and it never raced because Dodge was out of NASCAR. Nothing interesting on Twitter. You know, dull race, dull Twitter feed. Not like last night. Boy, NASCAR Twitter was aflame last night. Were you guys reading the Twitter stuff during the race last night? Because I was during commercials and after the race. For about an hour after the race I was like, this is fucking unbelievable how this turned out. Unbelievable in the worst way. Coming to the green. Busch, Haley, Allmendinger, Hemrick. I don't know why Hemrick would pick that outside line given what happened to him at the start of the race.
He could have been on the outside. Harrison Burton could have been on the outside in front.
I'm not taking that outside no matter what.
This outside line does not get rolling at all.
Let's see how bad it looks. We got Haley and Hemrick up there. Lap 25. Better than the start of the race, but still not good. Busch and Allmendinger are well clear. Now it's even worse because Hemrick took Haley 3 wide. They lost about 5 spots each. Just like the start of the race. Hemrick put himself in a bad spot picking the outside. I don't understand. Good run off the corner, though. He's back to 4th place with a huge run off the corner. He paid for it on the restart, but got it back off of 2 for the most part. Right back into 4th place where he lined up on the restart. So, I mean, it was not a gain, but not a loss. Haley's the big loser there. Justin Haley's going to be out of the top 10 here in a second if he's not careful.
That outside line's difficult on new tires. Almost impossible.
Brandon Jones running the wall
with the control car.
with 15 to go in the stage.
And it's one of those mysteries. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why does that outside line not get going on a restart? Never understood it.
Yeah, the outside line in Atlanta on restarts is a fucking mystery. One of the great mysteries of life, like the Bermuda Triangle or something. Or Amelia Earhart.
You're sitting still, spinning your tires, everybody around you is moving forward.
And nothing looks different on the track. It looks like exactly the same as the bottom, but it just won't work.
Remember that race in 2011 where Kevin Harvick was like dead sideways and there was about to be a huge crash and he saved it? It was just after a restart. He was on the outside at Atlanta. That was that awesome race where Jeff Gordon won and Jimmy Johnson finished second. Mike Snyder moving Sam Mayer up off the bottom. Riley Herbst moves him up off the bottom. 3 wide back there. Where is that? 12th place.
3 wide almost right here. 3 wide going down into turn 1.
3 wide into 1. Herbst, Snyder, or LeBay. They got plenty of room, though. You won't be able to do that on the new Atlanta, though. You won't have that much room. Boy, aren't you going to miss this, guys? Aren't you going to miss good Atlanta? Fucking A.
And should drive right up to the top 10, top 5.
They say Alex LeBay has fresh tires.
Checking in on the 98, you just saw him get past on the bottom of the screen there, the black car, Riley Herbst. His car was super free. He was reminded early on by crew chief Richard Boswell we had a problem on the short run here at the last race in Atlanta, so expect that. But the car was just too free. They really considered coming down pit road. They just didn't want to give up the track position at this point, but it's in a bad spot right now. They'll make some changes at the break.
Austin Dillon in that one car.
Austin Dillon, top 15. Methodically got comfortable with the car, picked his way through. I bet by the end of the race he'll be top 10. If Michael Annett can have a decent year in that car, I know Austin Dillon could be good in that car. He's a much better driver.
He wanted to come down pit road that last the competition caution. Couldn't believe they were going to come down and take tires. Crew had to remind him we don't have tires that are disposal like we do in the Cup Series. So just another reminder that, hey, things are a little different over here, and it's taking Austin a little bit of time to adjust. But one thing he's adjusted to quickly is getting behind.
Austin Dillon forgot about the limited sets of tires. He was wondering why the hell they didn't pit.
Guys, that's one thing that if you don't prepare for the race, right? If you're an Xfinity driver or if you're a Cup driver going back to an Xfinity race and you're
10 to go in the stage. Kyle Busch, Allmendinger, Harrison Burton, Hemrick, Gregson. This is still better than what Atlanta's going to be next year.
I heard a lot of questions, Junior, on the radio, but what's the crew chief and spotter name? That is first, I believe.
Who am I talking to?
When you say last minute, it's no joke. Like, the team called me in the booth about 20 minutes before airtime and said, hey, we need somebody to drive this car. And so it was very last minute. A lot of scrambling around to seeing who's available. All the Cup guys typically don't travel in till the morning of the race. So not a lot of guys here to get the job done.
Junior, I think what they were asking was, did you bring your uniform?
Right, that's exactly right. Like, hey, man, I'm going to promise you, if the helmet and the Hans was in the truck, I would have been down there doing it.
Oh, put the helmet in the truck.
Dang right.
Load her up.
So from now on, Junior Motorsports needs to travel with a Dale Jr. helmet and a fire suit.
Junior, just in case something happens, right? Hey, talking about
God damn it, because Junior said he would have totally done it.
sitting in the 6th position, he said, I'm going to have to talk myself into not going to the top too early. Well, Steve, you know drivers, they can say it before the race, but they can't make it happen sometimes in the race. Brandon was up top on lap 2, so if you're Brandon Jones' crew chief, are you a little bit worried? We talked about that tire where 8 laps to go in the stage. Are you a little bit anxious since he's been running the top the entire time?
Absolutely, I'm anxious. I'll go one further. Dale Jr. and I would have this conversation. Dale used to tell me, do not let me be the first. Here, Dover, Miami, you love to go up there. You would do it for like one corner, and I'm like, hey, buddy, you're the only one up there. And I can hear in your voice, oh, really? I don't want to run the bottom. I want to go to the top. It's so much fun. But, I mean, you see it. I mean, they're literally laying tire tracks on their own up there.
And right here's a car that started to struggle a little bit late in this run. Jeb Burton falling all the way back to 26th.
Jeb Burton is
place.
26th.
Cars behind him. It looks like Jeb's
Alex LeBay on his 4 fresh tires has worked his way up to 10th.
First 20 laps, I think it started.
LeBay's the madman that had the balls to change the tires. Yes, I saw the iRacing preview of Atlanta. It's not going to be anything like it. It's going to be single file around the bottom. That's what the new Atlanta is going to be. Single file around the bottom. Guarantee it. It won't be nothing like they showed in that iRacing clip. This track desperately needs to be repaved, but they're just fucking it up, dude. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah, dang, someone else that needs a big adjustment. We saw Austin Cindric and his team.
Ty Dillon's 11th. Austin Dillon's 12th. Cindric is so fucking bad. They're 31st. I know they pitted and gave up their track position and didn't change tires, but God. What a waste of a pick today, Michael. I should have known not to pick Cindric, but you see Austin Cindric at 10-1, you got to take it. 5 to go in the stage.
And remember, they brought a different setup. They felt like this was really their weak spot when it came to mile-and-a-half tracks, and they needed to bring something drastically different. Well, the drastically different has not worked in stage 1 for Austin Cindric, who after the changes and pitting at lap 22 is sitting in 31st, struggling for speed out of that 22.
That right there should tell you just how slick this place is. At a mile and a half, you cannot go full throttle on a straightaway without spinning the rear tires.
And tire wear definitely coming into play. Right now, Kyle Busch, the fastest that last lap. He's still
What a surprise. Kyle Busch in clean air, fastest car on track. Not a 2-second lead, but he's not pushing it. He's just cruising with 3 to go on the stage. I knew I shouldn't have streamed this race today. Should have put my foot down and said I'm not streaming it. If this race gets too bad, I'm out of here early so I can go eat. So if this race stays like this, we won't be here at the end.
2 or 3 tenths of a second. I assume in the same in Xfinity, Jeff, you want to put the left front tire literally on the paint and has more grip.
Yeah, no question about it. You see Harrison with this offer pad cam. He's got his left front right on that green, but the problem is AJ Allmendinger does too, right? So AJ knows that. AJ knows Harrison wants to be on that paint. I want to be on that paint. Harrison's gotten to AJ multiple times, but had the air taken off of him, and now AJ's gotten back away from him. And that's the game here, is just trying to take that air away. Make that guy go to the top. Make him change lanes.
Great to see Offer Pat joining the NASCAR family here as a sponsor, and great for Harrison Burton to have a little sense of humor as we look
took out the roof cam, and he's basically staring back upside
Maybe the
down.
2-week break won't be a bad thing. Or maybe I'm just thinking that because this race is going to stink because Kyle Busch is stinking up the show.
He goes, well, you know,
Battle for third with 2 to go. Here comes Hemrick.
it was a bit awkward to take all of these pictures.
And so you see his teammates caught him with that battle with Allmendinger. It slowed Harrison down. Now coming on the white flag of this end of the stage.
Last lap of the stage
Hemrick,
now.
he's gonna jump to the outside to try to get a big run down this back straightaway. Listen to the throttle.
Just run off a 2. Look how loose that 18 is running the high side. Their speed there kills your tires, though, and you can see why. He was dead sideways. Dirt tracking. Oh, God, I've still got PTSD from last night. I can't say anything about a dirt track without freaking out.
This will be the third stage.
Kyle Busch wins stage 1. Woo! Allmendinger second. Burton holds on for third. Hemrick fourth. And Gregson fifth. Allgaier slow off of turn 4.
Slowing down, coming to the line. He said he was taking it easy because he knew the right front was unraveling. Steve, that's what you're worried
Wow. Okay, Allgaier's got a right front going down, he says. So he just coasted to the start-finish line. Austin Dillon, top 10 in stage 1. Alex LeBay, 4 fresh tires, got up to 7th place. I don't know if that was worth it for LeBay. They got a few stage points, but I still don't think it was worth it to burn a set of tires. Are we not entertained? It's the Kyle Busch Show series finale. Woohoo! God, this is the last time I'll ever have to deal with this. Kyle Busch said he's a bit tight in 3 and 4. I can't fucking tell. You know, I got confused today. I turned on the NBC app on my smart TV, and it only had Olympics shit on it. I'm like, where's the fucking race? I could not find the fucking race. I didn't realize that they have 2 channels on the NBC app now, one entirely about the stupid fucking Olympics, and I had to move over and dig to find the regular NBC Sports channel on the app so I could watch the fucking race. Thought I was going to have to watch this race in standard definition. What a nightmare. The fact that I'm having to watch a Kyle Busch Xfinity race at all is a fucking nightmare. But I do it for you. Even when there's literally nothing to talk about. Hey, everybody, it's going to pit now, I bet you. Woo, that looked bad. God, dirt bike is scary shit, bro.
How tough is this guy? Actually ended up third in the main after all that happened. So pretty tough, and we appreciate it being here in the pace car for the start of this race. Man, those guys are tough and crazy. Tough and crazy. So the end of stage 1 has Kyle Busch winning. Now, I'm sure they're going to want to get to pit road as quickly as possible to get some.
Don't worry, I'm still here. I'm just getting dressed for later because I can tell I'm probably not going to be here till the end of this race.
Today, hey, we're not going to rest on our laurels despite how good we were here in the summer race last year. This is a completely different ball game, but pretty happy with the race car right now. A little tight on the bottom, but really, really pleased with the drive off in the bottom group. 4 tires and fuel and air pressure adjustment for Allmendinger, Dave.
Third place, Harrison
Jack a little early. I don't know about that. Dave, we got a peek inside Kyle Busch's offense.
Did Harrison Burton do something wrong?
20 degrees for the drivers here. Kyle said the only time I really lost time was when I would miss my marks.
My God, we got a lead change.
Bit of a rough stop for the 50.
Harrison Burton takes the lead. Hemrick second. Allmendinger third. Gregson fourth. Kyle Busch drops to fifth. Harrison Burton did get off the jack a little early. I don't know if they got the wheels tight. We'll have to see. But for now, he's the leader. By God, a lead change. Of course, it had to happen on pit road. We might actually get an interesting couple of laps in this race. Imagine that. I'm so excited. I'm beside myself with joy. As cynical as I am, it does feel nice that this is the last time I'm going to have to be like this. Get my wallet out later so I'm not tempted to do the, oh man, I forgot my wallet at home trick so I don't have to pay for food or anything. I wouldn't do that. I would only do that to people I don't like. But why would I ever leave my house to go hang out with people I don't like? So I guess I'll never get to do that. We had a fucking lead change in this race. The next lead change we have is when Kyle Busch gets it back. That'll probably be the only lead changes we see today unless we get green flag pit stops. But that doesn't really count. NASCAR on a channel nobody gets is brought to you by Credit One Bank. Why'd that dude in the Credit One Bank commercial look like he was on like Talladega from before 2005?
And buy Credit Karma Money, a rewarding way to spend and save. Rutledge, you've got a pretty good name.
Oh God, Rutledge.
Rick, I sure do. I'm so glad that this week Dale Jr. said, hey, you should go to the condos. He made some calls, and look at us now. We are on the penthouse right here above turn 4. We made some new friends, but I want to show you guys not only these amazing people, but Tony, come check out the view. This is what we get to see up here, guys. You really can see Harrison really nice when he's coming out of 4 there with his face on the hood. But guys, amazing. We couldn't have a better day for racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Perfect weather, breeze is blowing. I wish y'all could join me over here.
I'm afraid of heights.
It's not too hot down there, is it? Sure, when I go see Kiss there next month, it's going to be like 900 degrees.
What happened with that tire?
But it looks like a lovely day there now. And Allgaier did have a tire going down.
Starting to unwind here in the middle of it. The rubber literally coming off the tire down to the fabric there, down all the way to the cords right there. So Steve, that's kind of the worst nightmare as a crew chief seeing that. So Allgaier correctly diagnosed it, limped his way, gave up stage points because he knew that right front was going bad.
Yeah, now if you're Justin Allgaier and Jason Burdett, you hope that is an issue that will be cured by rubber going on the racetrack. But when you look up and down pit road, you guys were reporting, Marty, there was a couple tires that didn't look great, but his was the worst. We'll have to keep an eye if this guy Jason Burdett makes the right adjustments, trying to keep that right front tire on as the race continues.
And a mistake on pit road, the 22 team over the wall too soon. So
Burton, Gregson, Hemrick, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch picked the outside line back there in that second row, spins the tires.
Gregson on the outside.
Gregson got a pretty good start, all things considered, on the outside. Just no push from behind. Hemrick pushes Harrison Burton out to the lead. We better enjoy this while there's something to talk about. Gregson around the outside of Hemrick in 1 and 2. And he's to the outside of Burton. And dipshit Noah Gregson takes the lead. And he's bringing Kyle Busch with him, unfortunately. Busch on the outside up against the wall. Going for second. Gregson gets away with the lead for now.
So interesting, 3 and 4 normally does not have the grip on the top that 1 and 2 does.
Burton and Busch side by side for second. Everybody's got their fresh tires for the next 4 laps at most. And Burton slide jobs Busch off of 2, but Busch goes to the bottom. And now Busch will take the spot. Second place to Kyle Busch. And now he'll go run Gregson down probably pretty quickly. We know Gregson's fast here. 3 wide for 5th. Ooh, that was almost a wreck. Jones, Allmendinger, and Moffitt. Still 3 wide. Still 3 wide going into 1. Yeah. Jones backs off. Kyle Busch. Gregson protects the bottom into 3. Makes Busch go to the outside. Noah loose touching the apron. Kyle Busch leads this lap from the outside. They're still side by side for the lead. Do what you can to keep Busch on that outside and kill them tires. I don't think it's going to make a difference, though. Yep, Gregson lost the nose in the middle of 1 there. Busch clears him off of 2 for the lead around the outside. So Kyle Busch back out front. And a peace sign to Gregson to boot. Well, that was fun for 5 laps, I guess.
These young guys love that opportunity to learn and compare themselves, compare their skills.
30 to go in stage 2.
And typically, also, Junior, those older guys that are tough guys, if you're an Xfinity guy, you want to ask them a question, they'll talk to you. Like, they'll help you. They're not going to give you all the secrets, but they'll give you enough.
Whoa, we got a wreck. David Starr hit the wall in the front stretch. Caution's out. They just now throw the caution. He looks like he's been cruising for a while with damage.
Looks like there's air in the tire.
And we have a caution. Go to commercial. Not that we'd be missing anything if you went during green.
David Starr is in the truck series for many, many years.
David Starr has more truck wins than Noah Gregson. I'd just like to remind you of that.
Bringing out the caution. It's the 3rd caution of the day, and David Starr will take that to the attention of his crew.
Yeah, looking like David and another car might have got together on the turn 4. So David is in the bottom groove, but drifting up the racetrack. Leave that car on the outside. That's going to come into play here as they come on the corner exit. David's just not quite clear.
David Starr, a little loose off the corner and cuts in front of the 5 car and wrecks himself.
That's going to do damage to the 61 car. I believe they're going to have to put it behind the wall.
What about Matt Mills here? I mean, that's his spot, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's just a spotter. The spotter needs to be telling David that he's got a car looking on the outside and that David needs to, not use the throttle and open up the wheel and corner exiting to give that car some room, especially back here in the paddock. I'm sure David's trying to do that, but maybe didn't get that.
Austin Cindric was just in front of that. Hell, Riley Herbst was behind that accident. That was Riley Herbst behind David Starr.
Something else to consider. Look at this in real speed.
Like 8 laps into a run.
There's a car underneath you right there, right? So he's taking all the air off of David's car. Also, David's car is going up the racetrack.
Look at NBC getting all the angles of a backmarker crash. Fox Sports wouldn't have anything of that wreck. They totally wouldn't.
Concerned me as the day goes, Rick, because you saw the tire on the 7 car. You don't know what kind of damage it is, and even wrecked 160, 170 miles an hour.
Cool beans. Kyle Busch still leading. That's the cure for insomnia 250, sponsored by Kyle Busch, continues. Riley Herbst gets the free pass. I didn't know Riley Herbst was a lap down. Riley Herbst was a lap down. Get the free pass. I don't even know why Herbst was lap down. I really don't. Hey, I'm going to read replies to Derek Krause's tweet Proud of my Napa racing team for never giving up. Star on the pole, won the stage, just came back to finish 5th. Let's read these replies. Yeah, it's everybody clowning him about the way he drove last night. I cannot believe Napa sponsors you. Somebody sent him a picture of Jimmy Spencer holding that book. This is how to drive better and avoid accidents. Yeah, I knew the replies to Derek Krause's post from last night would not be positive, and not a single one of them was positive.
Heads to New Hampshire. That race coverage on NBCSN beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern. Then it will be the Olympics on NBC and the NBC family. And at the beginning of August, there's going to be a couple great races. Here's some stars to tell you about one of them.
I can't walk the streets of Nashville without thinking of legends like Johnny Cash, Loretta Lynn,
Mario Andretti.
Fascinating.
Hello, Cheryl Crow.
Heard Marco Andretti's looking into doing some Xfinity Series races. You guys hear about that?
Mario, that is new.
There's a commercial for the IndyCar at Nashville race.
Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, August 8th on NBCSN.
Pretty sure it's the same day as Watkins Glen, though, so unfortunately it's going to be a pass for me, dog.
Again, that's a part of the doubleheader with NASCAR.
Oh, it's a doubleheader. Nice.
They're going to be racing
The IndyCar Grand Prix at Nashville starts after the Cup race that day. Okay, that works. Probably start during the last bit of the Cup race because it's at 5:30 and the Cup race at Watkins Glen's at 3. Yeah, so I'll probably get to watch most of the Grand Prix in Nashville. Hey, there's where the Titans play. There's where Julio Jones plays now. Yep, that's where Julio Jones is going to be playing. Anyway, I don't need to be depressed. Kyle Busch still leading.
Thought big calamity was going to happen. David Starr going to the garage, 17. Carson
Wow.
He had no idea that.
David Starr almost got into another wreck on pit road under yellow just now, trying to get to the garage. That would have been funny.
Carson was able to get through without any damage.
I mean, for us, probably not for the crew guys having to dodge the cars.
This time it'll be Kyle Busch and Noah Gragson. Noah Gregson's going to be behind Kyle for this restart. Dave.
Rick, years from now, if Tucker Scanlon is an Xfinity Series champion crew chief, today will be the day that he crew chiefed his first race for Brett Moffitt in the 0-2. However, that's not the whole story. You see, Tucker can afford to get penalized for a couple of loose lug nuts and maybe miss a race. The guy who cannot is the guy actually making the calls, stay on top of the pit box. That's Bono Mannion.
Bono.
Series car, truck for Zane's
The Truck Series car.
last night. So Bono's making the calls, but if there was anything at the end of the race that might be against
Bono's so good, he's a crew chief for a car in the Truck Series, according to Dave Burns.
Or fired. Yeah, or fired. Look at Tucker, all smiles.
Bush, Herbert, Gregson, Allmendinger. This race is pointless.
Just we'll call that just by chance. I know that.
Back underway, Hemrick starting on the outside this time. We've seen
Kyle Busch gets away with the lead. Bad start for the outside line again. Hemrick goes wide. Allmendinger sticks his nose in there. 3 wide for third. In the middle.
3 wide into turn 1.
They somehow don't wreck off a 2.
Fight it off this particular time.
Hemrick holds on to third. A lot of stacking up going down the back into 3.
AJ Allmendinger might have got together a little bit there on the back straightaway. If they didn't, it was close. Twice we've seen on restarts, though.
Atlanta Motor Speedway's track surface is basically a gravel road that's glued together.
Because of the grip in turns 1 and 2. Not on the launch, but through the corner.
You know what? In hindsight, guys, we should have let them repave this shit 4 years ago. Remember, like 3 or 4 years ago, they were literally about to repave it after the Cup race, and they didn't because people were like, no, please don't. If we'd have let them repave it then, they wouldn't be reconfiguring it like they are now. So I guess we fucked up not having them repave it a couple years ago. That'll teach us. Harrison Burton takes third back from Daniel Hemrick. It's a race for second today. And I'm bored. I'm really bored.
In the fifth position, right behind Harrison Burton and Daniel Hemrick. Here's what he said under the last caution about the handling of his car.
I still don't know where the speed's at. Like, I'm watching these guys, and if I hit my marks perfectly, I'm still just even or a little worse than. I'm not better than. I just don't know where to be better than they are, you know?
Jeff, you know what's funny? This is the man who won here back in March, and he's saying, I can't figure out why those guys are so much faster than me.
Gibbs cars are very strong today.
Not only race to race, but throughout one race.
Gibbs cars plus Gregson. Austin Dillon's 8th. Jeremy Clement's still in the top 10 deep into this race.
You may think you're good enough and not make enough gains and other people get better and end up beating you.
Well, not to mention now it's Atlanta in the summer. We can attest that we were down on the grid before the race. That sun is shining down, track temp is going up, and that mechanical grip is very hard to find when the track gets this warm.
Temperatures inside the car is over 120 degrees. The racetrack was 136 degrees at the start of the race. And abrasive on the tires. We see A.J. Allmendinger all the way up against the wall trying to find speed.
AJ's going to take the momentum from the high side.
Nice run off the high side by A.J. Makes a pass for 4th.
Car here down the back straightaway.
Allgaier riding the wall. I don't know if you want to do that. You're only halfway through this stage. I think Kyle Busch is doing like Tony Stewart on dirt in the SRX. He's not even really trying hard because he's not got a big lead.
Of course, he goes to the bottom now as we say that, but he's much happier up top than he was early on in the race.
Allmendinger's on a roll right now. Look at those last 5 finishes. 1st, 6th, 5th, 5th, and 4th.
The grip and the slickness of the racetrack, but you'll run high in one end of the
AJ's
track
on
and
fire.
low in the other, and that takes two different disciplines. You drive the car completely different to run the top. And so you have to really be changing up. Instead of getting into a repetition of doing the same thing at both ends, you got to do two different things, and it's so hard.
Man, the Kyle Busch show is boring. I'm really not going to miss this.
And then know that
Ty Dillon going for a top 10 spot.
the top of turn 1. It takes a lot of work.
Ty Dillon, top 10. How's he running better in the 23 than he did in the 54?
Car on the racetrack the last 3 or 4 laps.
And Ty Dillon moves into the top 10. Oh, we got a spin off of 4. Josh Berry, the 31, keeps it off the wall. Caution's out. I've seen cautions thrown for a lot less, so not really surprised.
It's going to be tough for this 31 car. They were one of the few cars that put tires on all the way back at the lap 20.
And I wish Josh Berry was in that 8 car.
Put 2 sets of tires on. I'm sure that those tires are damaged now. They're going to have to put their 3rd set on. So 101 laps left in the race and tire count dwindling.
Josh Berry driving for Georgia.
Well, Josh Berry should be pretty fast for the last 14 laps or so of this stage now because he kept his car clean. They're getting fresh tires, but that's going to hurt him late in the race. Not that he was going to be a factor today anyway. You feel he had a tire go down or something? He was all the way down on the apron, spun out.
Got to him, had trouble, really, probably halfway through the corner.
That was weird.
He had contact with somebody. Here we go. There he is, that's Atlanta loose.
He just straddled the apron a little too much in 4 and spun out. He looked like he was all the way on the apron, but no, he straddled the line between the apron and the racetrack, spun out.
Ran Knoxville last night in the truck. He was waiting for this place to tighten up. Unfortunately, Atlanta.
Yeah, he ran Knoxville last night in the trucks. He's just happy that he made it here on time today for this race because it was looking like they were going to be late.
Until midnight. So a quick trip back out here to Atlanta for this race.
Could have won me $60 last night, Josh.
2022, are we going to see Josh Berry back with you, or can you?
Yeah, they're asking Junior straight up right now. Junior says he's working on a deal.
And we'd love to have him at Junior Motorsports running full-time next year in Xfinity Series, and I think we're...
You hear that? Noah Gregson or Michael Annett's going to lose their job next year.
Here in the future. So
Because Junior says they are working on a full-time deal for Josh Berry. I'm glad to hear that. There's your breaking news. Dale Jr. is working on a deal for Josh Berry to be full-time next year.
That's what this series really, talking about the young guys, but this series is always built on those experienced, hard-nosed racers.
Still 17 to go in stage 2.
That's exciting to hear. Junior sounded awfully optimistic there, too, when he was talking about it. And I will be right back. I got to go run my mail out. Run the mail out to my friend. So give me 1 minute. I'm going to unmute this so you might hear commercials.
There's nothing like playoff hockey. The Stanley Cup Final on NBC, NBCSN, and streaming on Peacock. Boss Baby is in theaters. Let's roll. And streaming only on Peacock now.
Is this some kind of a ninja boy band?
The Boss Baby Family Business rated PG. Now streaming only on Peacock. Go to bossbabymovie.com.
The Open Championship has stood the test of time. Once again, Americans will begin their day watching the Open and the best in the world. The Open Championship on NBC and Golf.
Just under 2 weeks away until the Olympics begin, live from Tokyo on NBC. Teams have been decided. Competition about to get underway. And we're getting ready to restart here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kyle Busch once again up front. Now he has chosen that inside line.
Remember, these guys are on old tires for this restart, so that's going to be hard to get the traction. Might make it hard for this outside line to come off turn 2 with any decent track position. We'll see how it works.
It looks like Junior, if you can lead, Vonnegut can lead with Kyle Busch. He's got a shot at beating him in the corner. Great job by Vonnegut on the outside right there.
He pushed the limits there of the rules, actually crossing the finish line ahead of Kyle Busch, but he rolled up to the door of Kyle Busch, anticipating him going. That's a veteran move.
He's going to be able to hang on to second. Noah Gregson and Justin Allgaier, 9 and 7, fighting for the 3rd spot right now.
Well, Junior, you got to remember, you can beat the leader to the line anymore. As long as you fire at the same time that he does the restart zone, anybody can get to the line first. I was shocked that Allmendinger got that good of a restart.
Yeah, it was good. See the Dillon brothers right there. Todd Dillon's worked that 23 car up in the top 10. 3 wide right here off of turn 2. It's going to be tight between there. 19 and 02, Brett Moffitt. Dillon, what you got on Ty Dillon?
Well, I think for Ty Dillon, he's just excited that he gets a chance to race. Obviously he's not in a full-time role anymore, so just having an opportunity to race in something competitive whenever he gets the chance. A lot of confidence here, too, at Atlanta 1 won his first NASCAR race here in the trucks. Conveniently that day also beat Kyle Busch to the line for that victory. So came in here and felt like they were going to have a really good shot. His only other start in this car was his best run of the year, finished 7th. So felt like they had potential to have a really good day here. And good day going for both the Dillon brothers right now as they run 9th and 10th.
A lot of action. You see a great big battle going on right here. Watch Mike Snyder trying to paint the blue line, just doing all he can, loses it. Sam Mayer drives up to him, makes a little contact with him. Wyatt doing a great job, great save over the apron. Everybody behind him, nice job. Look at Austin Cindric. Yeah, y'all keep playing down there. I'm going to jump on the outside, take some of these spots.
That's the difference between you and me. I was thinking Cindric was saying, nice save, so you didn't come up in front of me and wreck me. But
Burton, do you really think that line's blue?
Yeah, it's green, I'm sorry.
Okay, just making sure.
You know my vision's not very good.
I didn't know if it was a colorblind issue or not. As Sam Mayer just in front of Myatt Snyder. Dave?
And Rick, remember, for the 18-year-old, this is just his 3rd Xfinity Series race. And as you would imagine, there have been some growing pains as he works from the ARCA Menard Series to the Xfinity Series. The first race at Pocono, slid through his pit, hoped he learned from that. And then an accident last week at Road America, really dented his day there. So today, he's just been reporting in. The balance is pretty good. I'm just trying to learn the track and learn the car. And you can imagine, Marty, as he wiggles on that line, it's a tough place to do it here in Atlanta.
In front of the reigning series champion, Austin Cindric, who has had a terrific second part of this stage 2 here. In fact, on the restart before this, he restarted 29th and drove to 17th and told the team under the last caution, I'm not going to have a restart like that many more times in my career. Now he's up to 13th, still with a very loose race car. You see him bottling there on the bottom of the racetrack. He's set to even be in the ball game here.
I'm back. I know I didn't miss anything. Well, Chris, hold on.
Austin Dillon.
I'm going to mute this so I can formulate some thoughts. The difference with Kyle Busch is that, like, mostly guys like Mark Martin drove for other teams. Kyle Busch is driving a Cup team with basically Cup car and Cup pit crew and everything. Cup resources in a lower series, and it's fucking stupid. Back in the day, it really wasn't like that. That was not really a problem until you got into the Kevin Harvick era. Because in 2001, Kevin Harvick ran Cup and Busch Series full-time and was really good in both. He won the Busch Championship in a bunch of races, won Rookie of the Year, top 10 points finish in Cup, got a couple of wins. And I think from that point on, owners said, we should have all of our drivers run as many Busch races as possible. So around 2001 is when that really kicked into high gear. And then I think the peak of it was like from 2006 to 2010, it was just nothing but a second Cup series, basically. And it was pretty fucking lame. And they were all driving Cup cars for Cup teams for the most part. So it's just been really frustrating. I wouldn't have liked Mark Martin in the Busch Series that much back in the day, but at least he wasn't driving for a Cup team. Who owned that Winn-Dixie car? That wasn't a Roush car, was it? Because if it was, then fuck it. But, you know, I can't remember who owned that Winn-Dixie car. Anyway, Kyle Busch still leading, Allmendinger second, Gregson third, Allgaier fourth, Hemrick fifth. The Dillon brothers are in the top 10. Austin Dillon's getting pretty comfortable in that car from what I can tell. 5 to go in stage 2. Boy, it's really fucking hot outside. I don't know where you live, but it's hot as shit here. I just walked outside to talk to a friend of mine for a minute. Give her mail. I was outside for most of this stage. I'm kind of glad.
I think the entire should survive it. Now, when you get into stage 3, if we do end up going long into that fuel run, that 50 to 55 lap range, that's another.
Tommy Joe Martins and Sam Mayer, 14th place.
I think you have to maybe.
Tommy Joe trying his best to overachieve in the series, but not very successfully.
Don't slide the car. Don't
a lot of bad luck, though.
Don't race anybody really, really hard for position in those first 5 or 10
See
laps.
Cindric's 11th now.
This sounds crazy, but like one big slide on a new tire, Junior, right? And that's it. You've made it mad, and there's no making it happy again. You just set that tire in the wrong direction.
I'll tell you one thing too. I know this is early in the race, race, but that last restart changed everybody's mindsets. That outside lane worked. It shuffled the front lineup completely up and put Allgaier, Allmendinger, they both gained spots in that outside lane. That's going to change what drivers think, how they need to approach the rest of this race on restart.
Yeah, that's the most success I've seen in the outside lane here in a few races, as crazy as that is. It just never seems to work.
So to look at the top 10 here, you got Kyle Busch, AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gragson, Allgaier, Hemrick, Harrison Burton. Then you got Brett Moffitt, who's currently running in the 7th position. Ty Dillon in that 23, running in the 8th position. Austin Dillon filling in for Michael Annett in 9th, and Justin Haley in 10th. Those 3 cars obviously having a good run, 7th through 9th right now.
Those our motorsport teams in the top 10 with Moffitt and Ty Dillon. So
Yeah, when I think of old Cup guys in the Busch Series, I think of Earnhardt, Dale Jarrett, Michael Waltrip. Hell, Jeff Gordon drove the fucking Baby Ruth car. Didn't Junior Johnson own that?
Things happen. Remember last week at Road America when he was leading and then lost the lead late? Everybody got by him. He finished 9th.
Whatever, you know.
He told me this morning that was
It was different back in the day.
they knocked something off the seal.
But as soon as Cup engineering and shit got brought into it, it was game over. That when Dixie car was a Roush car. Okay, it was, yeah, the number 60, because then later on it was a different sponsor and Greg Biffle drove it. When I think of that 60 car, I think of Greg Biffle.
Gregson running third. They can hold it together. Maybe they can get their first win of the season.
They're going to have to go through.
I think Kyle Busch wore it then because people walk around calling him a fucking messiah for winning minor league races and major league equipment, but Mark Martin's a nice guy. Nobody ever treated Mark Martin's Busch Series success the way they treat Kyle Busch's. You know? Oh, and Kyle Busch just won stage 2. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Yeah, but we go back to the first Atlanta race early this year, and we had Mark Truex Jr. driving this Joe Gibbs Toyota, and he dominated the first 2 stages of the race.
Still awake? We're only halfway through this race.
Ended up losing some.
I'm going to have to get out of here early at this rate.
And got beat, so race isn't over. It looks like Kyle Busch right now has the upper hand.
He's won stage 1, he's won stage 2. This could be the last ever race for Kyle
Who
Busch.
cares? We'll go well into stage 3 before I jump out of here. I don't remember Terry Bradshaw saying anything about Cup drivers in the Busch Series. I don't remember. Mark, you are right on the money, sir. That's the difference. Since 2001 is around the time this bullshit started because of Kevin Harvick's success in his rookie year in Cup while he was running full-time in the Busch Series. That was the beginning of the downfall. And then in 2007, 2008, the recession hit and teams started losing money and shut down except the big teams, and then they took over the Nationwide Series entirely. So yeah, it's lame. We're getting bit. The Xfinity Series now is definitely watchable, and after today, it's going to be watchable from now to the end of time, because if we hold Kyle Busch to his word, we'll never see him again in one of these cars. We'll probably see him make a one-off one day, but as far as him entering as many races as he can a year in this series, I'm assuming he's done. I'm sure the wife is happy. Remember, after that wreck at Daytona in 2015, he told us he made a deal with his wife. He can keep running Xfinity races, just not Daytona or Talladega. It's probably for the best. I'm surprised a guy like Kyle Busch would want to run Xfinity races at Daytona or Talladega because he hates that kind of racing anyway, even before he got hurt. Like I said, I probably won't be here at the end of the race because I do have to do some running around. There's the city of Atlanta. I'll be there next month. See the hottest band in the world. August 29th. Looking forward to it.
As we take a look at the Toyota driver updates, you have to look at Kyle Busch as we check him out inside the cockpit here. 100
the cockpit.
Career Xfinity Series wins, and he is on a streak right now. He's won the 4 races that he started this year. This is the 5th and final race that he can race because of the NASCAR rules. Look at the numbers of 28 different tracks, 17 different crew chiefs.
Well, the question is will he run again? And I believe he will.
Pit road's open. Dale Jr. says he's convinced that Kyle Busch will run again. I kind of think so too, but I don't think he'll run 5 or 6 a year or whatever.
He needs some entry grips, and he's turning right on corner entry. That's causing the car to get tight from the center.
At least Kyle's paint scheme is nice.
No adjustments for the 9 race car, but the driver wants an ice pack.
Good pit stop for the 16 car of Allmendinger. Under 13 seconds. Noah, 13 seconds on the dot. Kyle Busch's team, 12.5. Kyle Busch clears the entire field for the lead easily off pit road. Busch, Allmendinger, Gregson, Hemrick, Burton, top 5. Who cares? Matt Kenseth, but even Matt Kenseth didn't run like over half the season. Like Matt Kenseth was never like high up in Busch Series points after he stopped running full time. Like you go back and see, like, for example, let's just get on Racing Reference right now. I got a computer right here in front of me, and it's much more interesting than this boring fucking Kyle Busch race we're watching. Let's just go to Racing Reference. Let's look at the final standings in the Busch Series from every year from like 2001 to like 2011 or whatever. 2001 driver standings. Kevin Harvick, the champion. He was a Cup rookie. The highest Cup driver in points. Hell, look. See, I'm telling you, Matt Kenseth in 18th place. Matt Kenseth had 23 starts. Highest Cup driver in points in 2001 in the Busch Series. But he only ran 23 races. So, the Busch Series in 2001, still good. Young guy Harvick. You had Biffle there. Jeff Green. Jason Killer. So, the Busch Series still compelling to watch. Now, let's watch the slow decline from every year as we progress. We're going to 2002 now. Carl Edwards was a total fucking leech. Carl Edwards was just as bad as Kyle Busch. And Brad Keselowski and Joe Logano. So, 2002, where's the highest Cup driver in points? Looky. Damn. The highest Cup driver in points is Jimmy Spencer in 26th. Michael Waltrip, 27th. Part-time. Michael Waltrip ran 19 races. Spencer ran 23. So that's 2002. Greg Biffle was the champion. Don't worry, it's going to get bad. Whoops. Do you just fucking go back, please? Let's go to 2003. Let me just do it like this. Oh, yeah, the race is back. Well, they're not ready to restart yet, but who cares? We're talking about something much more compelling. 2003, Brian Vickers. I don't know how Brian Vickers ever won a championship in anything. Highest Cup driver in Busch Series points in 2003. Uh-oh. Kevin Harvick in 16th. This is where the leeching began. Kevin Harvick in 2003 with 3 wins, 19 starts. Highest leech driver in Xfinity points. 2004. Whenever it decides to fucking load. This is fascinating, isn't it? 2004, Martin Truex Jr. Oh, we got a Cup driver, 3rd in points, Greg Biffle, who was in his 2nd season in Cup. So, Greg Biffle, leech driver, 3rd in points to Kyle Busch and Martin Truex in 2004. Next highest after that, Casey Kane in 11th. Although he was a Cup rookie, so we'll cut him some slack. Michael Waltrip 13th with a win at Nashville in dramatic fashion. Kevin Harvick managed only 20th in points. I'm surprised by that. Then you got Robbie Gordon. So the leeches are starting to get more common. We got one in the top 5 in points in 2004. So it's getting worse. I'm not even going to commentate on the restart going on here in a second because who cares? We're talking about this. 2005. Come on. Show me the standings. 2005, Martin Truex Jr. wins his second straight. Clint Boyer. Oh, we got a Leach there. Carl Edwards, third in points. Denny Hamlin was still an Xfinity Series guy at this point, not a Leach, but Carl Edwards, Leach driver, third in points in 2005. Greg Biffle, Leach driver, top 10 in points. Like I said, they're getting up there. Kevin Harvick, 18th. Casey Kane, they all ran over 20 races, though. They ran over half the season. Harvick, Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth. There's Matt Kenseth in 24th. Like I said, he was sort of a Leach, but hell, he only ran 15 races compared to the other guys running over 20. 2006, this is where it really begins. Because, ladies and gentlemen, your 2006 Busch Series champion was none other than... Wait for it. Kevin Harvick, Leach driver. Kevin Harvick, Leach driver, wins the Busch Championship. Carl Edwards, Leach driver in second. Clint Boyer, Cup rookie, if I'm not mistaken. Denny Hamlin, fourth, Cup rookie. So, 1, 2. Kyle Busch, seventh in points, Leach driver, second year in Cup. Greg Biffle. So, let's count the Leaches in the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the top 10 in points, including the champion, Leach drivers in 06. This is where it started to get bad. 2007, we are truly at the peak of the Leach driver era. Well, we're getting there with 2007. By the way, Kyle Busch is leading right now with 75 to go, but who cares? Carl Edwards, Leach driver, champion in 2007. Kevin Harvick with a top 5 points finish. Kevin Harvick ran 9 less races than the guys behind him, and he still finished 4th in points. Kevin Harvick only did 26 of the 35 races, but he got 6 wins and 20 top 10s. This is where the Busch Series really began to suffer. So, Carl Edwards, Leach. Harvick, Leach. Greg Biffle. Wow, Matt Kenseth, top 10. Bonafide Leach. Clint Boyer, still young. Denny Hamlin, we could pretty much call him a Leach. Kyle Busch, the King Leach back there. Most of Kyle Busch was not that remarkable in the Busch Series till after he'd been a Cup guy for a few years. 2008, we got another Leach champion here, because by this point, Boyer has several Cup seasons under his belt, and Clint Boyer wins the 2008 Nationwide Championship, whatever you want to call it. Leach City, Boyer, Edwards. Kyle Busch, 6th in points. Not a lot of Harvick this season. He only finished 18th in points, and Harvick didn't actually win a Busch race that year. I'll be damned. Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin won 4 races as a Leach driver. I don't know what the classifications are for Leach. Do we say Leach is anybody with more than 5 years Cup experience? Because by that definition, Hamlin would not yet be a Leach in 2008. Yeah, Carl Edwards was... Oh, wait, this is the best Leach year right here, ladies and gentlemen. 2009, the only one of 2 championships Kyle Busch has actually earned in his entire career. Kyle Busch wins 9 races. He had about 10 or 11 second-place finishes that year, by the way. Kyle Busch wins the championship over Leach Carl Edwards. So the Leaches just run the show at this point. It was Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards. Brad Keselowski was in like his 2nd or 3rd year in the Xfinity Series, part-time in Cup. So Keselowski's not a Leach yet, but he's about to graduate. Kevin Harvick down there with a couple of wins. So yeah, 2 Leaches, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, combined for 14 wins in the top 2 spots in the point standings. And other Leaches who won that year, Greg Biffle with 2 wins, Matt Kenseth with a win, David Reagan, he doesn't count as a Leach, Kevin Harvick with 2 wins. So Leaches won well over half the races. This was becoming a normal thing. 2010, Brad Keselowski somehow manages to win the Nationwide Series Championship over Carl Edwards, Leach driver. Kyle Busch skipped about 6 races. Kyle Busch skipped all the standalone races in 2010, I believe. So Kyle Busch only ran 29 races, but he won 13 fucking times. Kyle Busch alone won 13 races in 2010, but gave up the championship by skipping standalone weekends. Kevin Harvick won 3 times. Anybody else as we scroll? I don't see any other Leaches. Clint Boyer, but he didn't win anything. Ryan Newman didn't win nothing. Greg Biffle didn't. Yeah. So Brad Keselowski managed to win a championship over a Leach guy, although Brad was in his first full-time year as a Cup driver in 2010. 2011. Is this when they changed the points to where only these guys could get points? I can't remember what year they made that rule. Yes, it is. It definitely is. So 2011 is when they said, okay, you got to declare what series you want to earn points in, and that's the only series you can get points in. So Stenhouse was able to win the championship. Who knows who would have won it that year? Because okay, let's count the number of wins for Nationwide Series regulars. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 34 races. The other 28 races were won by Cup drivers. Let's take a look at this. Let's count. Let's just say Leach every time. Leach, 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 Stenhouse, Leach, Allgaier, Leach, Sorensen, Leach, 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 Leach. Oh nope, Stenhouse, Leach, Ambrose, kind of a Leach, 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 Leach. Let's just read the names. Stewart, Bush, Martin, Bush, Edwards, Hamlin, Bush, Edwards, Stenhouse, Kenseth, Allgaier, Edwards, Sorensen, Logano, Keselowski, Bush, Edwards, Keselowski, Stenhouse, Kurt Busch, Ambrose, Bush, Edwards, Bush, Keselowski, Edwards, Keselowski, Edwards, Trevor Bayne, Sam Hornish, Keselowski. There were only like 6 full-time wins by Nationwide Series drivers in 2011. So even though they changed the points, it still didn't fucking help anything. And then 2012, we had a follow-up of the same deal pretty much. Stenhouse wins the championship again in a Leach-infested year, but manages to win 6 races. So good for you, Stenhouse. It was actually a good championship battle between Stenhouse, essentially a Leach, Elliott Sadler. Even though he had given up Cup at that point, I still count Sadler as a fucking Leach. So until you get to about 6th in points, it's actually a good championship battle. But then you got fucking Cole Witt, Mike Bliss, Brian Scott, Danica fucking Patrick. Oh my God, Danica finished top 10 in points out of 14 drivers that attempted the full season. That's really not that impressive. By the way, there's a caution on the race right now. Greg Galding just spun out. Don't care because nothing's going on. 2013 on, yeah, it's like Xfinity champions. But you get the point. 2001 to like 2010 was a fucking nightmare. And the peak of it was like 2007 to like 2010.
The right thing to keep it off the wall. But
and the nightmare really continued because in 2013 or whatever, whenever Kyle Busch was driving the 54 that Gibbs owned, not the year that Kyle drove for himself, the year that he drove the 54 that Gibbs owned, my God, the 54 and the 22 won every fucking week. They were trying to make a story out of the Owners' Championship. Like, oh my God, you know, they're racing hard to get this Owners' Championship. And it's like, no, they're not. Nobody cares about the Owners' Championship. Nobody fucking cares. I see Noah Gragson got the lead somehow.
I will say that took the inside wall very well.
Interesting.
Usually an impact like that.
We'll look at Truck Series leaches another day. I guess we'll kind of pay attention to this race now. Because Noah Gregson's leading somehow, and I didn't see how it happened. I wasn't watching because I don't care. Never mind, it says Busch is leading. We got a split decision here. We got a few cars stay out, but most of the cars pit. Kyle Busch, one of them, pitting. But Gregson stays out and takes the lead. You can just about make it from here. Not that it matters. Gotta put my socks and shit on. I'm getting ready to go out. See, I should have done this in reverse. I should have skipped the Xfinity race and then come home for SRX.
Goodyear tires, so his teammate Daniel Hemrick comes. A few other takers, so kind of a split strategy here, Steve. This is going to be a
big deal.
Restart to watch.
Yeah, you got to have tires.
I guess this restart will be halfway compelling. About 5 or 6 stayed. Actually, a little more than 5 or 6 stayed out.
The leader of the race in the 9, his hopes is that we run maybe 10 or 15 laps and we get another yellow, because now he still has 2 sets of tires, so he's just trying to get a little lucky on when to use them.
Well, when you're a fucking hack like Gregson, you got to do something to beat the 54.
1 o'clock Lucas Oil Motocross and Cup Series racing right here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Countdown to green at 3 o'clock, 3:30 Cup Series racing. And again, it's a home race for Chase Elliott, defending champion of the Cup Series, actually spent a lot of time with you, Dale Jr., and you guys have a show that's coming up in August. Take a look.
Where are we at now? Oddly enough, this is Elliott Road. This is his first Cup race car.
I think probably got like 6 pounds of Bondo in it.
Welcome to the pool room. So
Check it out.
This is it.
Do you know that was his first job?
No, he did not say that.
Is this top hobby?
Teaching my dad how to do it like last summer. How to serve. Are you ready, dude?
So Dale Jr.'s got a thing with Chase Elliott coming out soon.
Basically out there and runs a totally different line, runs faster than all of them. I don't say anything. I mean, what do you say?
I said, Bill, then you keep directing him, and I will support you guys.
You could immediately see his driver craft was really high. I remember being the first one to the car. I didn't even know what to say, just for him to have somebody to vent to.
From Dawsonville, Georgia, Chase Elliott is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
So that'll be a good documentary. That'll be a documentary worth watching. It's going to be on Peacock in August, and luckily a good friend of mine lets me bum her Peacock because she watches the WWE. I have one friend left that still watches WWE religiously, and she lets me use her Peacock account, so I'll get to watch that Chase Elliott doc. Interesting. The Cup haulers are coming in. They're parked outside the racetrack waiting for the race to be over.
What I learned about his first job, though, will surprise a lot of people. He wouldn't tell me. His mom and dad, his dad told me where his first job was, and it was pretty surprising.
You haven't told me, so I'm going to have to tune in and get the information.
That's right. Get the Peacock TV is where you're going to tune in for that. Talking about cool jobs, how about Jesse Little? He had a pretty cool job earlier, didn't he, Dylan?
He sure did, and having a nice afternoon here. He runs in the 12th spot right now in that 78 car. But yeah, cool opportunity for him throughout the first pitch at the Oakland A's Houston Astros game on Tuesday.
Glad we got to do our Leach. We picked the best race to do a Leach retrospective. We sat there and ran through all those years of Leaches while Kyle Busch is in the middle of his last Xfinity race.
He got it to the plate, as you saw there, credited a lot of his intramural softball games that he plays around Charlotte with some practice rounds. So, pretty cool.
I didn't even plan on doing that today. I just did it out of pure fucking boredom and spot.
Nobody will remember if you get it across the plate. Now, if you don't, they will. Oh, they'll be all over the internet.
I saw the gun. I think it was 78 miles an hour that he threw there. Dave.
Can we get this eternal fucking caution for a single car spin over with? I've got shit to do.
Ronnie driving the car and his brother Dylan, who works on pit lane when he's not behind the wheel. They hang gutters all week. That's a family business, Bassett Gutters and More, and that's how they fund their racing. Well, as that tire came off of Ronnie's car there, I'm not sure who we're seeing here, but Dylan was able to work on that, and these guys have worked together as a team their whole lives, and today Ronnie is trying to take that 90 car back to the lead lap.
Shut the fuck
Didn't get
up.
the free pass that time, but hopefully he'll be in position for that later. There's Dylan Bassett, the other driver in the Bassett family. And of course, Ronnie, the old man, well, he was a legend down here in these parts in the late models.
And still having to hang gutters, right? So that they can pay for this racing excursion that the family's doing.
Going green, and Gregson pits at the green flag, which hands the lead to Justin Allgaier and Justin Haley on the front row now. Allgaier on the outside, though. What was that about?
Crew chief, what was that move?
What the fuck was that with the 9?
Come off the pit road, or come on the pit road there.
Haley and Allgaier side by side for the lead. Allgaier takes it from the top. 4 wide, Kyle Busch on the bottom. Unfortunately, he's on the bottom, so he can't get wrecked. Would be amazing if he did. 4 wide further back. Good God. Big stack up on the bottom in front of Kyle Busch. He's got fresh tires, though. See, until Kyle Busch gets out front, I'm kind of handcuffed here. I got to watch this race and see how it plays out.
It looks like they're going to engulf that 9 of Noah Gregson.
It's going to be close. I think Noah might be able to stay out in front, but just by
Noah stays in front of the leader to stay on the lead lap. 32nd place on 4 fresh tires. He should be able to outrun him.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a strategy.
That was weird.
They're looking the tires over, guys. They're looking the tires over like he had a right rear down or maybe the right front. Maybe the left rear.
Well, Noah's going to have better fuel mileage than the guys on the lead lap with him, but what the fuck was that?
Sounds to me there that there was conversation
conversation about potentially a flat tire. That was Dave Ellens saying he's 90% sure. Then he says, come on. So to your point,
They thought Noah had a flat tire, so he pitted coming to the green.
riding around under that yellow, he felt something.
Kyle Busch is in 8th place on 4 fresh tires. 6th place now. He just passed Cindric and Jeb Burton. He's got the Dillon brothers in front of him now.
He has better tires than these guys behind him. Don't run the tires off this race car.
Hemrick to the outside of Allgaier for the lead, going to 1.
Look at the run here. As Allgaier's trying to hold off Hemrick. Hemrick on the outside trying to take the lead away.
Well, you mentioned tire differences. The 18 of Hemrick.
And Hemrick takes the lead. Hemrick's the first car on 4 fresh tires, and he's out front. Wow. But I'm sure Kyle Busch, if he needs it, will get every caution he needs to catch back up and get this guy late.
So it's kind of a split with the front of the field and who pitted and who stayed out. It just got even more confusing, Marty, when the 9 came down for that question. We didn't know why he came to pit road.
Yeah, you got to make that call if you feel like a tire's going down.
Ty Dillon 3rd. Kyle Busch 4th, though. Kyle Busch is flying. When Kyle Busch chases Hemrick down and takes the lead, I'm probably going to duck out of here because I got to go out. Did I ever watch Prelude to the Dream? Yeah, years ago, Chris. Didn't Kenny? I remember the one Kenny Wallace won. That was awesome. Kyle Busch up to 3rd. Hemrick leading the race on 4 fresh tires. Kyle Busch in 3rd on 4 fresh ones.
Away from the wall. What was going on there?
Well, it was an overheating issue. So we've obviously talked about the conditions these guys behind the wheels are facing driving these race cars. But it's hot down here on pit road, too. And these crew guys that are going over the wall are working hard down here, whether it's just getting tires set to make pit stops or actually going over the wall. It's a lot of work down here. And so we had one that just kind of got a little bit hot. The medical team tended to him, got him some ice packs, and I think everything's okay.
We had a crew guy fall over from heat exhaustion. Kyle Busch 2nd place, running the outside of Allgaier down the front stretch. Hope Hemrick enjoys this lead while he has it.
The 78 of Jesse Little.
As good a condition as those guys are in, they work so hard to be in great shape. That shows you how physical these conditions are today.
The driver I've been watching all day, sitting in there in that 44 car, Martin's in 16th place. He's been running in the top.
Man, this race really could have used Dale Jr. to make it interesting.
Solid run for this team.
Why don't they ever bring his helmet and fire suit?
Racing around people that
Tommy rarely, the 34-year-old from Mississippi.
He rarely is this competitive, so this is a great run for this team.
Top 5 is Hemrick, Busch, Ty Dillon, Allgaier, and Allmendinger. We'll see how long Hemrick can hold this lead. I'll let you know soon when they come get me. I'm going to duck out of this race early because it's pretty clear how it's going to end up. Just letting my friend know to be ready. So I apologize in advance, guys. I'm not going to be here for the end of this race, but you know how this race is going to end. Because if I want to get down there and eat before the movie, we got to get going here in a little bit. And I don't want to be out too late. So the King Leech is going to win his 102nd race and final race, and I'm not going to be here to see it, but I don't care. This is just keeping in tradition. Do you realize how many Kyle Busch Xfinity races I have turned off early because I knew what was going to happen? I'm amazed I made it through this race, like this far through this fucking race. It's been boring as shit. He really is like Thanos. He is inevitable. But good for him. Yeah, I got nothing, guys. I'm just ready to go. Ready to go, ready to go, ready to go. This has been a chore to watch, but it should be the last time. Hopefully the cup race doesn't totally stink tomorrow whenever it happens, if it happens on time or if it happens tomorrow night because of weather, who knows. Figure we were due for a rain delay and there's a chance we get it tomorrow. Kyle Busch has not passed Hemrick for the lead yet, but we'll see. He's 50 to go and Kyle Busch is 15 car lengths back, about a second and a half behind Hemrick for the lead.
And it just adds to the litany of weird things that have happened to this team this year. Again, Ellen's told me earlier today, I've never had a season like this, and this is another one. Coming to green, having to pit with a hole in that left rear tire.
So torn, Junior. Brick, right? It's like a good break, you didn't go green, but a bad break, you lost almost a lap. So could have been worse, but by no means good one.
He's staying on the lead lap. He was able to get out in front of the field. The problem is that he's running 32nd right now, and if Daniel Hemrick does go by someone to lap him in, well, he wants to make sure he stays on that lead lap. That's the biggest thing.
Kyle Busch within a second now, 48 to go. If Hemrick had got the lead like this about 30 or 40 laps after this, he might be in good shape, but he's not in good shape.
Hey guys, which car am I talking about?
I did say if you wanted an upset winner, look at Hemrick today, but it ain't going to happen.
That one right there, that black and orange Toyota of Daniel Hemrick. What a fantastic day it has been for him, and I can't believe this week when I was looking through my stats pack, there is a whole page dedicated to drivers that have not won and finished second many times. Daniel Hemrick is that guy in the Xfinity Series. Today, if he can stay ahead of Kyle Busch and everybody else, he'll get his first career victory, and it will happen here in Atlanta, Dylan.
And he might have to stay behind this guy right here, AJ Allmendinger. Remember, he sped at the end of stage 2 on pit road, went to the back. Here he is. He just drove by Ty Dillon to take the 3rd spot.
Ty Dillon and Austin Dillon both in the top 5.
They've done a really good job of maximizing their finishes on ovals. Doesn't feel like they've had enough raw speed, though, since Charlotte. I'd say they've got a pretty fast race car right now as he's driven through the field. Driving mad. He took the blame for that speeding penalty. Drew pumped him up. AJ's done his job to get him back in contention, Marty.
Dylan, how about the brave call by Jason Burdett to leave Justin Allgaier on the racetrack? Remember how their race started with a right front problem? They were able to limp
45 to go. Hemrick's clinging to a half-second lead that is shrinking to Kyle Busch.
of the guys who did not pit at lap 98. Sitting in 7th right now, Allgaier, you see the car a little bit free right there, but doing a decent job hanging on, though. Steve, the longer this run goes on and it stays green, I'm sure Jason Burdett's getting a little bit worried about that, Dave.
Marty, we've talked about what a hot day it is out there today in his first start of the season. Unfortunately, Boston CJ McLaughlin has to get out of this race car. He is exhausted, and David Starr
We have a caution.
is going to get into the 66. They called for the paramedics here for CJ.
Brandon Jones has knocked the wall down with a flat right front with 45 laps to go. Well, this changes nothing.
This is a break that Justin Allgaier and anyone who stayed out.
Daniel Hemrick's going to come down pit road with the lead here.
Disadvantage is going to come into play for those guys to have those 2 extra sets because they can come down pit road and put a set on. The rest of the field has to decide if they want to save that final set. So let's see what happened. I'm going to imagine that he tried to clear himself.
I think you got to come and put the set down. Wow, Brandon Jones just totally clobbered Ryan Sieg and put himself on the outside wall. Way to go, Brandon Jones.
A break there.
I don't give him a break either. That was stupid.
Jones just goes right.
Jones looked like he was just going to arc the corner and cut up across the 39 and wrecked himself.
Yeah, nothing that Sieg did wrong. Just Jones sort of not too aware of where the cars were around him. Maybe getting some information from his spotter that wasn't helpful.
Brandon Jones done for the day.
Jones going to get out and call it a day.
You mentioned the big splitting strategies, Junior, with 44 to go. You know, now the pressure is solely on the 18, the 54, and the 16. Do you come take your last set of tires now and hope it's the last caution of the day? If it's not, you are in big trouble. Pit road will remain closed as they figure out what they're going to do with this 19 car. Or do you stay on the racetrack and let Allgaier and those guys come have a tire advantage on you?
Right. I feel like that since Justin and those guys do have that tire advantage and they can come get that, that sort of forced you maybe to have to stay out, right, and save that set so that you aren't caught.
So this is interesting.
The set.
I think Kyle Busch and those guys should come and get their last set of tires now. I don't know. But we're going to have to spend 25 minutes under caution to figure this out. Here I was thinking I was going to get out of here early. Now I'm going to wind up here till the end of the race. And I don't want to be. Because I know this race is going to end the same no matter what happens. Brandon Jones back to his old self there with that one. What's my internet provider? Northland Cable. Their cable fucking sucks, but the internet's actually really good and it's cheap. We used to have AT&T, but it's too fucking expensive. Way too fucking expensive. I like their TV package though. Better than fucking Northland Cable. Because they don't have NBCSN and HD, so I gotta watch on this damn app. Well, that was loud. And then they go back to commercial. Why am I seeing more commercials? The broadcast is back on. Yep, those are certainly commercials, aren't? I want to go get food now. Coverage will resume shortly.
Being close to home.
He can't even see the second place finisher in his rear view mirror.
Atlanta we expect to go run well at. Racing at Atlanta is always exciting.
How will Kevin Harvick do tomorrow in a much more compelling race to watch than this one?
I'm looking forward to going back here and trying to defend our win.
One Georgia-born driver has won here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and that's the father.
Did they not open pit road yet?
Join that rank as you see what's happening tomorrow on NBCSN. Again, Lucas Oil Motocross at 1 o'clock. Countdown to green at 3:30. Racing from right here in Atlanta. And Chase Elliott winning his home track. 7 o'clock post race show.
the Xfinity Series. They're also
Lies.
right here in this parking lot. And every Thursday night, even tonight, there's a Bandolero race and a Legends car race. Take a look around and see some of these teams that are out here getting ready. If you talk about names that are in the Cup Series, Joey Logano is a perfect one. How about
Joey Logano.
Reed Sorensen. Joey Logano actually had the
Did he just say David Reagan and Reed Sorensen? Rutledge.
Bandolero car here, but it's going to be some great racing tonight, and so many of these drivers, guys, they dream about being on that big track Saturday afternoon like they're heroes.
You have to wonder what drivers down in that garage today that we'll be watching on the big
My
stage
question
one
is,
day.
why aren't we watching those cars instead of this shit?
Jack, maybe Joel. We saw their names on the windshield of their cars.
What a great time. What a great time to spend with your family racing. Meet so many good friends. There's Joey Logano. You meet Joey Logano was good even when he was young. I mean,
Do we remember?
Time.
Remember Mark Martin? What he called him? Sliced bread.
Number
The
10.
greatest thing since sliced bread.
Number 10 is Albert James.
That's a stroke race line.
Well, and of course, Steve wouldn't know it. Stroke a race, Steve.
Right over my head, Rick, but
on the list.
I'll do my homework.
It's on the list.
We have a lot of different plans here. So basically, at the front of the
All right,
pack, we
just
have
let me know. I'll just watch the race.
the 9 of Noah Gregson with that unfortunate flat tire. Really had no
So
choice
did everybody
but to stay out.
stay out?
Track position. The 23 of Ty Dillon, he stayed on the racetrack as well to try to save that set of tires. We have a group that has a set of tires, and if you look farther back, we have Hemrick and Kyle Busch. They put on their last set of tires, and now we see the 7 of Allgaier pulling over.
Allgaier's slow. Allgaier got a penalty, hit the choose box. Fucking A.
Oh yeah, solid contact.
Boy. Well, that advantage of the extra set of tires, it might not look so good right now.
Just went away.
It was only of the last 12 races.
Well, Allgaier shit the bed for his race, but anyway, 39 laps to go. Ty Dillon, Noah Gregson, Mike Snyder, Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick puts Gregson 3 wide in the middle. Ty Dillon takes the lead. The most important thing is the 18 is still in front of the 54. I don't know how he can hold him off, but he's still in front of him for now. And they're going to blow by Ty Dillon down the back. Hemrick takes the lead with Kyle Busch in tow.
After pushing, we saw him give the shove to Ty Dillon, and now falling all the way.
I feel like I'm wasting my time with this race.
Kyle Busch out front in second.
Hemrick in the lead, Kyle Busch second.
Impressive run also from A.J. Allmendinger. He's running 4th. Ty Dillon trying to stay up here in the top 5. And look at that.
Damn, Austin Dillon 3 wide around his brother
Boy, fresher tires so
for
evident.
5th.
Austin Cindric in that 22. Up a little higher. Justin Haley in the 11.
Hemrick just in front of Kyle Busch with 37 to go. Kamikaze's going to have a stroke here. Watching Hemrick not win again because of Kyle Busch. Hemrick on the bottom, Kyle Busch on the outside.
Battle up front, there you see it. Kyle Busch hasn't been able to reclaim the top spot just yet.
Hemrick's been out front for 18 laps up to this point.
Hemrick's trying to get my hopes up. I figured Kyle Busch would have passed him by now, but it's still early in the run. Still 36 to go.
Kyle does this time. He tried to top and wanted to the last lap.
Just protect the bottom. Protect the bottom. If he passes you on the outside, so be it. He's got to use his tires up more than you to get up there and make that pass. So
Second lane.
I'm just going to concede that he's probably going to beat me. So I'm just going to run the bottom, make him run the top, and hopefully kill his stuff before he can beat me. And just hope to God somebody behind us can catch him and give him trouble so I can drive away.
Steve, what strategy puts Daniel Hemrick in victory lane for the very first time today?
Well, he definitely does not want to see any more yellows. The 18 of Hemrick, the 54 of Kyle Busch have put on their last fresh set of Goodyear tires. They're not alone. There's a bunch of cars that have done it. So they'll have a little bit of protection even if the yellow comes out. But his best bet right now is
35 to go, and Hemrick still hanging on by 2/10. Moffitt and Allmendinger battling for 3rd. Sieg Clements in the top 10. I know dirty air is not as bad with these Xfinity cars, but it can still be a thing. So just run the bottom. Make him go to the top.
And remember that yellow and black 0-2 of Brett Moffitt. When we show the playoff points, we don't see that car, even though Brett has had great runs for our motorsports.
Hemrick is really trying to get our hopes up here, isn't he?
Declared for the Truck Series. First first 6 or so races were run for Truck Series points. They weren't going well. They were going well in the Xfinity Series. So he went to NASCAR and they asked, hey, can we switch to the Xfinity Series? And they said yes. The problem is he's 220-some points out coming into this race because he didn't start the season in this series. A win and a top 20 would kick him into the playoffs.
This is compelling up front. So if there is a caution, Kyle Busch and Daniel Hemrick have no more sets of fresh tires, but a bunch of cars further back do. So either, hopefully, Hemrick can somehow hold off Busch and win, or we catch a caution and Kyle Busch is most likely fucked for good. Right now, Hemrick's doing a great job of holding him off, or Kyle Busch is just backing it down, cooling off for a minute, because he doesn't want to have to run that high side to make this pass.
Oh, he is really loose. That beats those tires up. You can see the back of that 16 car slide.
This could be interesting.
Still a long way to go in this race. 32 laps is forever, Steve.
It's a long way. Your car's going to continue to change.
Battle for third's really good.
You're going to have to search. You just can't be stuck to one lane. I think the 16's got to clear him.
Ooh, slide job by the dinger for third. Moffitt right back to his inside, passes him right back. Seen this move all day.
But he missed the bottom right there. Couldn't
Yeah.
front to that painted
Allmendinger
line
got on the
for all
bottom
the
better than Moffitt.
Slides up the racetrack, and AJ
And Hemrick's lead over Kyle Busch is holding steady at about 4/10 to half a second.
on top of the
I can't believe it. Still 31 fucking laps, though.
driver tries his best to get there.
Too many laps, too many
Not
laps.
let the car slide off of it. It's very rough and bumpy on both ends of the track, and that tries to throw you up the racetrack.
Another run here for Moffitt. We'll see if he looks to the inside going into 3. He's going to stay up high.
Moffitt's been committed to that top lane pretty much all day. Doesn't seem to hurt his car as far as long run.
30 to go.
Speed running to the top.
You mentioned running to the top. The 54 of Kyle Busch has really worked this second lane right here. You're going to see the 18 go to the bottom. The 54 run a little bit higher right here. Picks up the gas nice and early. Doesn't gain much in the middle of the corner, but all the way down the backstretch continues to pull up to this rear bumper of the 18. He's had to follow him down here in 3 and 4 each lap.
Kyle closes in 3 and 4. Hemrick mirror driving him right on the paint, running the Harvick line. They're both doing it.
Watch the throttle. Right at the bottom left of the screen. Especially coming off of turn 2. Almost feathering the throttle.
You know, I almost forgot that I picked Cindric today, and he's running 8th right now. Whoa, Kyle Busch got really loose. Kyle Busch got really loose in 2. He lost a lot of ground to Hemrick there.
Missed his line in 1 and 2. This battle continues back here with Bob.
Steady goes, Hemrick. Steady, steady, steady. Just stick to the bottom. They're going to have to deal with lap traffic, unfortunately, but I hope these lappers give them the bottom. If this race stays on the bottom, Hemrick can do it.
When you move up in 1 and 2, even if it's not better for your car, when you get a little defensive for Kyle Busch and maybe try to take the second lane away. I'm keeping him inside.
Boy, I'm going to miss Atlanta.
I think Kyle's a little bit faster, and he's probably just running just fast enough.
I pondered that earlier. I said I felt like maybe Kyle's running just fast enough to stay close.
I don't think Kyle's car is very good right now, though. Every time we see it, the back step
And doesn't want to run the top, but Hemrick's only going to give him the top.
Hardy, what you got?
This third place battle back and forth. They've lost like 4 seconds to the lead, but Moffitt and Allmendinger are racing hard. Allmendinger slide job off 4. So Kyle Busch doesn't sound confident, says he doesn't think he has the speed. He's losing ground. He's running the high side now. He lost a lot of ground into 1 and 2 that time.
He's heading up there now to see if he can find some pace. He'll give up a little bit of time entering and through the middle of the corner because you're going the further distance, but you're back to the gas before that guy on the bottom.
I hope Kyle just wears. I hope Kyle Busch blows a right front.
On corner exit and down the straightaway. There you see it. He's running in, closing in a little bit more down the straightaway. And what he's doing while he's running this top line, he's learning what works and what doesn't work. Daniel Hemrick
Coming to 25 to go. Busch gathered it back up. He's gained some ground back that lap. He's found some speed in the high line, but still too far back to do anything for now. shut the fuck up. I forgot. I was texting and forgot to mute. I think Hemrick's got a chance here, guys. Look at me. I was cynical all damn day. Didn't even pay attention to half the race. And here we are, Hemrick leading the race. Smooth on the bottom. Kyle Busch is loose all over the place, running different lines, trying to run him down. Said he doesn't think he has the speed to do it. And if they catch a caution, he's fucked too. So maybe we got this covered. Oh, God damn it. Cindric dropped out of the top 10. Not going to steal one today. This is fascinating. Yeah, Brad Kissel. They have not announced anything yet, but it's pretty clear that Brad is leaving Penske to go drive the 6 car and be a part owner of Roush. You know, he's got experience owning a team. He ran the Brad Keselowski truck team for a few years till it just financially didn't make any sense to keep doing it. So Brad kind of has an idea of how to be an owner. And they think the next gen car is going to level the playing field for teams like Roush who have been behind for a while. And a driver, the talent of Keselowski, can elevate the team, hopefully. What? Come on, Hemrick. Hemrick had a sloppy turn 4 that time. It seemed like he was bobbling. Maybe dipped a little too far below the line around the bottom of the track. But his lead is steady. He's got a steady lead here. Because Hemrick's leading, I almost certainly expect a yellow. I mean, it would fuck Kyle Busch too, but because Hemrick's leading, I feel like of course it's going to happen. I'm actually starting to get nervous for him. Suddenly I'm invested. Suddenly I care. See, that's the thing. They're making me care. Getting my hopes up here with Daniel Hemrick.
21 laps away from potentially Daniel Hemrick's first ever win in the upper
potentially
NASCAR. Kyle Busch running in the second spot right now, but he's 0.6 of a second back.
This lap car just didn't do him any fucking favors. Are you kidding me?
Truck Series, the Xfinity Series,
that lap car just totally fucked Hemrick. Just totally fucked him. Absolutely fucked him. Hemrick had to go into the middle of the corner and shoot up high, and he lost half his lead. He had a very comfortable lead till he caught the 0.7. Now Kyle Busch is closed in again. The fucking lap car totally shit on him. Now he's back to the bottom of 1 and 2. Kyle Busch is riding the fence with 20 to go. It definitely cost the 18 a good lap, but he's stretching it back out now off of 2 as he settled back into his line.
Just Kyle's car is not how he needs it to be right now. 20 laps to go.
Steady does it.
I said it before, still a long time to go. As far as going to go to a major.
Kyle Busch just might bust his ass trying to run that high line to run him down. We got lap cars too wide in front of him, right? They move out of the way. The 26 goes high. The 31 goes high. Tommy Joe Martins goes high, so Hemrick gets to run his line. And they're all right in front of where Kyle Busch wants to run. Hemrick couldn't come up off the corner like he wanted to, but at least he's getting to run his line.
Through the traffic to tell the drivers what the good lines are, to tell the drivers where the other drivers are good and potentially beating them. Well, today,
now Kyle Busch has moved back to the bottom of 3 and 4, following them.
Kyle Busch has taken into victory lane many times, so who would know Kyle's moves better than Tony Hirschman? If Kyle gets there, Hirschman would try to keep Hemrick ahead of Busch.
They're both on the bottom. I think Kyle Busch has given up on the high line. He's just going to run the bottom, try to maintain the gap. Hopefully stay close enough if Hemrick makes a mistake. Busch gets loose off of 2. He couldn't come up because of the lap cars. That helps Hemrick into 3.
Pretty impressive when he found out he was going to.
We are over 20 laps into this run, and Hemrick is still hanging on.
Before he fired the engine. That's pretty impressive from what we've seen out of Austin Dillon. And also impressive, Allgaier is up to 9th already, Marty.
Oh, we got a goddamn caution. Cody Ware just wrecked off of 2. I told you. Told you there'd be a yellow. I told you. I told you. I told you. Told you. Daniel Hemrick's leading, so nothing good can happen for him.
The question is there enough time? I believe there is with 17 laps to go to put them on and use them to your advantage. Unfortunately, for
everybody that has tires should pit and leave these fuckers out on an island by themselves.
They do not have an fresh tires.
But like they said, if we get a rash of cautions, you're not going to have enough time to take advantage, but we'll see.
18 down for Scuffs, but a couple of drivers that do have one fresh set of Goodyear tires. The 51 of Jeremy Clements, he currently runs 10th. And also the 9 of Noah Gregson running 5th.
Guys, I think Noah's going to win the race.
Scuffs right here, I would assume these aren't like for
Noah and Jeremy Clements have fresh tires. Status for Brandon Brown, I'm not sure. Like I said, I barely paid attention to most of this race because I was too busy mocking Cup drivers in the Xfinity Series, but now all of a sudden I'm invested.
They're cooler, they're a little, I won't say fresher, but at least cooler, so they should fire
We're
off.
talking about putting scuffs on the 18.
The other thing about that too is if nobody else pits, right, and only the guys with tires, they're going to line up around 20th to 22nd. Now, if everybody comes to pit road, those guys don't lose the track position, right?
Yeah, great point.
Yeah, you got Allgaier ninth. If everybody pits for Scuffs, he's got a potential to line up ninth with 20 lap better tires instead of 20th or 22nd. So be interesting to see how many do take those Scuffs.
I think you got to take the scuffs. These tires, they've run hard for almost 25 laps on these. If you got tires that any less on them, you got to take them.
Keep talking about how slick this racetrack is.
Fucking Cody Ware running dead last spun out by himself off of turn 2 and fucked Daniel Hemrick out of a win.
Able to keep control and
Because it looked to me like Hemrick had this race in the bag.
that wall seems like it's a long way away, but
And then he drives straight into the fucking inside wall like a goddamn idiot. Pit road's open. Here comes the 18 and the 54 for scuffs. Everybody pitting, so this is great for the guys with all the fresh tires.
So AJ Allmendinger, they do not have any sets of stickers, but they do have a set of scuffs.
So a lot of guys have scuffs, but a lot of guys have fresh ones.
He's got on the car. AJ's gotten really, really free. That's been his latest report. No rear grip right now behind the wheel of that 16 car. We'll see what they can do here over the final 15 or so, Dave.
Same story for Daniel Hemrick, middle of your screen.
They're going to have to make some, well, I don't see any adjustments on the 54. He looked like his car was just evil.
No-brainer to him. He said those scuffs are colder. That's what we want to put on. They are 10-lap scuff tires going on.
Hemrick with a great pit stop. But he's going to lose the lead. Kyle Busch takes the lead. No. No, Hemrick gets it. Boy, that was close. So Hemrick's still the leader. Hemrick's still the leader. But where's the first car on 4 fresh tires? Gregson in 10th. Or Justin Allgaier in 7th, actually. Okay, this could be great for Allgaier. Remember, he had a penalty earlier for hitting the choose box. And now he's probably going to win the race because he's got 20 lap fresher tires, it seems.
There are a bunch of cars we've talked about.
Hemrick barely kept the lead off of pit road there.
Now remember, all these guys change tires. Some put on used, cool tires. The 11th of Justin Haley right in front of the 7. According to my notes up here, I believe he also put on brand new sticker tires.
Justin Haley has new tires.
Dylan, there are other teams down
Haley, Allgaier, Gregson, Jeremy Clements.
You're right, Steve. The 11 does have one.
Now Justin Haley. Michael, this is the one damn week you didn't bet on Justin Haley. And he's going to be up in the top 10 with much fresher tires. With more than 10 laps left in the race.
So there's a lot of different strategies and a lot of different issues. First, we're going to have to get it kind of all sorted out. They're going to have to choose where they.
Yeah, I guess I should have been paying attention earlier so I could keep track of who has fresher tires and who doesn't.
I believe the 9 of Noah Gregson, correct.
2 of Maya Snyder has a.
Now I'm nervous because I think Gregson's going to have a fucking chance to win. I don't want to see that.
Those guys are dying for this race to get restarted, and they don't want to see a caution. They want every lap to be green, every opportunity to pick off spots. Because anytime the caution comes out, that stops that progress and takes laps off the board.
We mentioned the 2 of, there you see the crew chief for Daniel Hemrick right there, Dave Rogers. We mentioned the 2 of Maya Snyder. He actually
This restart's going to be insane.
stayed on the racetrack. He'll take the wave around. So he has that set, but Jeff, with only 14 laps to go, he's going to have to get a real quick yellow to get those tires put on and try to use them.
he caught a really bad break right when that caution came out. Jesse Little beat him by just about 2 car lengths to be the first car lap down. So Jesse Little got the free pass. Now that put this team, the 2-car position, where they had to stay on the racetrack to get a lap back like this. So he's not able to put his tires on. So he's going to need another caution to take advantage of those tires.
So we're going to see the pace car move to the left. There you go. We're going to wave around the cars that are on the tail.
Oh boy. We're going to restart with 12 to go, it looks like.
Now leader of the race. Right here behind the pace car. I believe that's the 47, Kyle Weatherman. Will
be the leader. So now it's choose time. We'll see what the 47 chooses. We're gonna have a.
Well, he dropped to the rear. Oh God, the 47's the leader. Holy shit.
Riley Herbst got hit with too fast on pit road, so.
And Hemrick picked the outside? Are you stupid?
Waved off. Yeah, the light's still on the pace car. I was thinking a lot of guys are hitting the choose cone, but.
Okay, they waved off the restart. Never mind. What the fuck? It looked like the 18 had picked the outside, but no, they waved off the restart.
Why didn't we get the one to go there? Because they're dying. They think they're going to need all the laps, right? And if
I don't care what the two cars in front of you do, Hemrick. Pick the fucking inside.
To try to make up a position or drive up to the front. So we saw Allgaier hang on pretty well on 15-lap tires against the rest of the field. So I mean, this isn't a cakewalk for Justin and those guys to drive up there and pass Hemrick. Hemrick gets in some clean air, he can drive away and absolutely still win this race. But it's going to all start with picking the right lane, and then we've seen it, right? We've seen the outside lane not work, and then we saw the outside lane, a couple guys have made really good attempts. You called it earlier, right? Kind of timing it, guessing when that leader's going to go, kind of time it, and at least accelerate with him out of the zone. And they got a guy starting up front with him, and who they haven't seen him control restarts very often, don't know his tendencies, and doesn't really know exactly what he might do, whether he'll go early in the box, late in the box. So hard to really know exactly how to play it with this particular driver controlling the field.
And he's on those hotter, older tires on top of that, so he's going to have a big wheel spin issue. So let's see what they do. We'll see what Kyle Weather means.
So the 47 is going to be the leader.
I promise you, Daniel Hemrick's going to pick the opposite. I would suspect that Kyle Busch will go with Hemrick.
Okay, the 47 was nice. He gave the 18 the inside. That is a good move by the 47. 47's the leader. He picked the outside because he knows he's going to be a fucking speed bump here. So the 18 and the 54 will be lined up on the bottom. Second and third. So the 47 controls the race from the top. He's got Austin Dillon there behind him. Boy, imagine if Austin Dillon's able to win this. You talk about just fire Michael Annett. If Austin Dillon wins this race, you got to fire Michael Annett tomorrow because, my God.
Better launch than the 47. Will he have the opportunity to take him 3 wide? We've seen that happen a lot. Junior, then he came on the radio and asked the team, should I try this? So he's thinking along the same lines as you are. Yeah, we've seen every restart just about where the
How much you want to bet they're going to penalize Hemrick for jumping the restart and give the win to the 54? How much you want to bet? Because the 47's going to blow it, and they're going to say the 18 jumped it, penalize him, and then Kyle Busch will be given the win. You watch. Just fucking watch. Just saying that before it happens. The 39's getting sent to the back. He hit the choose box. How are so many guys hitting the choose box?
Remember, when we're looking back up to this field, that 11 car is 6. He's the first guy on
Buttholes puckered nationwide.
Cold tires on, but they've already been on their race.
Go, Hemrick. Let's do this. Come on.
It'll be 11 laps.
Just be careful in this restart.
Stay in front of the
Because, like I said, they'll probably say he jumps it or something.
He's on the inside in the orange. 18, Kyle Weatherman on the outside.
47. Clean jump, spun the tires, so that should be a clean restart. Hemrick gets away with the lead. Oh, we got a wreck. 47. Caution's out again.
So quickly back. They weren't expecting it. The 20 of Harrison Burton hard into
And Harrison Burton got the worst of it. Now, what the 47 should have done is drop to the fucking rear. It was nice that the 47 laid over, picked the outside, and gave them the preferred line, but the 47 should have just dropped to the fucking rear in hindsight. Because this is what happens. This is what fucking happens. And Hemrick's going to have to hold off Kyle Busch on the short run on cooled down tires.
Yeah, so he left and was spinning his tires, but then he had problems with the guys behind him, just didn't anticipate it. So here he goes. He didn't get a bad restart considering his old tires, and now
Look how fucking slow he is. Good God, man. How are you that goddamn slow? 47 should have went to the back. That was stupid. That was absolutely retarded. That is some amateur, that's some truck series bullshit right there. I thought oh, what a nice job. He moved out of the way, picked the high line. Nope, he still caused a fucking problem.
Brandon Brown gets to him. He's behind the 22, can't really see him, and then Harrison's behind Brandon and can't really see the 47.
That is so stupid and unnecessary.
That's a big impact on those cars.
Yeah. So they go to work on Brandon Brown. As you mentioned, Steve, the situation with
Brandon Brown got the damage because he was the first one to run into the 47. Little baby Doge.
Currently in points. Here you see the points now. 53 back for Brandon Brown. So a huge hit for this team.
Jeremy, he's out there in 10th place. He's had a great
For
run
God's
all day
sake.
long, and he's got new tires with the potential to even gain more spots before the end of this race and just have a great points day. Continue to, make that gap wider between him and the rest of those guys.
Back to your earlier point, they're saying track's clear. Give us one to go. Give me some racing.
So Daniel Hemrick, a couple laps closer now to the possibility of that first.
I just
win.
know he's going to blow this, and fucking Captain Dipshit's going to luck into another win. Once and for all.
First guy on sticker tires. Let's see how this restart works out for him. Obviously, really slow. He jumps to the outside. Look at the bottom. That 7 car, Justin Allgaier, the 11 gets stopped. Fortunately for him, that caution happened, or that bleeding was going to even be worse. Haley was going to fall further.
Don't let this turn into the fucking truck race. I'm still shook from last night. This has truck race bullshit written all over it.
Really difficult, especially because of some of those cars that got by him, like that 7 of Allgaier is a very fast car.
And this is really where, in my mind, the choose kind
Good God, it's raining. It's not raining at the racetrack. You see those clouds over behind turns 1 and 2? You could definitely tell there's rain over there. It's not anywhere near the racetrack, though, but you can see it.
NASCAR heard that for all these years. They come up with the idea that we're going to let the drivers decide what lane they start in. Well, we have Daniel Hemrick leading. The guy behind him, Kyle Busch, the 54, trying to go 5 for 5 this season and win all 5 Xfinity Series starts. Let's listen into the driver of the 54.
Down in the carburetor is terrible for restart. I can't hard throttle it very good. And if I start to spin and I back up and then I got to reapply, it spurs.
So that's Kyle talking about the drivability of the engine. Remember, fuel injection in the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, still a carburetor. There's a lot of tricks inside those carburetors to get them really smooth on pit road.
This fucking late caution just pissed me off. It just fucking makes the race last so damn long. At least it's worth watching now. Until this dickhead still wins again. That's the most frustrating thing about this. He's still going to win. Oh my God, is Hemrick finally going to win? Probably not. If it had stayed green, he probably would have. Racing guys just need to fuck off and let Daniel Hemrick have one, okay? Please. This is a lot of bullshit. Kim Burton's not happy with the 47. So the storms that you can see in the background, it says they're staying north of the track. They're stalled north of the track. They said shouldn't expect any implications on the race here. But yeah, that's a bunch of storms. But they're moving past the racetrack way up north. So as long as there's no lightning strike, I still don't understand why the 47 stayed out in front of them. He should have just dropped to the fucking rear. Because he just tore up a bunch of shit, including his own car. Those are the retards that put that bullshit back the blue on their fucking cars. So no wonder they would do some stupid shit like that, stay out and cause a fucking problem. Yeah, I'm really nervous for Hemrick. He's so close.
Depends, we saw
Hemrick, Busch on the inside again. Allmendinger and Allgaier to the outside.
Allgaier being up there behind him because Justin's got the new tires and
I'm terrified.
jumped to the top of this racetrack in 1 and 2.
I don't know if less laps is better for Hemrick and Kyle, or to stay in front of Kyle Busch, or if he needed more. Because we know on short runs, Kyle Busch can fire off and make magic happen. Although Kyle said he's not that confident in its ability to get going on restarts.
Just not like the rear tires up to give yourself the best chance. I want a rolling start. I want to be back on the quarter panel. We saw AJ do this earlier.
He timed it perfectly where he was on the back quarter panel of the lead control car, and he rolled up.
The wild card here is Allmendinger to the outside of Hemrick. He could fuck this whole thing up. I just feel like the 54 is going to get lucky and come out winning again. Like always. Something always is going to go right for him.
If you're just sitting there coasting the same speed as the car,
We're going to have 6 laps to go.
When you touch the gas, you're absolutely busting traction.
And Daniel Hemrick, what he has to do is he has to know the rolling speed of his car. How fast does he want to be as he's entering this restart zone so he doesn't get rear wheel spin?
Daniel Hemrick has 9 runner-up finishes.
I see him sitting back on this quarter panel. That's what I'd be doing too.
Oh, boy.
Rolling up on him. There he's rolling up on him, hoping that 18's
Here we go. 6 laps.
Oh, look at that.
Great restart.
Great restart for Allmendinger. Are you serious? From the outside. But Allgaier takes him 3 wide. That's going to help the 18 with a shot for the 54. And Kyle Busch just wrecked the 18. Kyle Busch takes the lead. He gave the 18 a bad push, and the 18's done. Caution's out. Well, Kyle Busch is going to win. I told you. He shoved the 18. He was just trying to push him, but he hooked him, and so Kyle Busch gets the lead, and he's going to get away with the win.
You saw it, Busch said on the radio, guys, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yippee, I told you guys. I told you. Hemrick didn't get the best restart, and then he got too big of a push from the 54. If it wasn't for the hook from the 54, he was going to drive away because Allgaier went to the outside of the 16 and stunted his progress, and then the 18 got jabbed from behind and hooked into Allmendinger, and game over. Daniel Hemrick will not win.
Just too much contact.
AJ.
Yippee. Aren't you so fucking excited now? Aren't you happy? Aren't you glad you watched this? Oh boy, I can't wait to see Twitter after this one. So now Kyle Busch is the leader, and there's only going to be like 2 laps to go, and he's going to have control of the race. Game over, man. Game over. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen, was it?
We see every week, guys, someone trying to push somebody. You know it's effective, but it's not done properly. It ends like this.
That was stupid.
Look at all the spots.
Kyle Busch is really good at wrecking guys by mistake. He's really good at that. I know he didn't mean to do it, but if I was Hemrick, I'd still go punch him in his fucking chinless face. Because, God, that's bullshit. Oh, that's bullshit.
Hemrick has plenty of points, but obviously wanting that win. The restart coming up next.
Oh, well, we're just going to sit here and ride around under caution for another 20 minutes now. Told you guys. I told you. I told you. I told you exactly what was about to happen. Not exactly, but pretty much. Boy, we sure need cup drivers in these Xfinity races, don't we? We sure do need cup drivers in the Xfinity Series, don't we? You could really learn a lot from Kyle Busch, like how to fucking wreck guys by mistake on restarts and all kinds of good shit. They learned so much. Hemrick really just had to learn so much. He really had to learn from getting hooked into the outside wall by his fucking teammate, cup driver. Yep. He really needed to learn that lesson, didn't he? They learn so much from these cup guys. It's so invaluable, the knowledge that Kyle Busch brings to this series. You have to properly learn how to wreck your teammates and look like you did it by mistake. Oh well. Oh well. You guys are awfully quiet. I figured the chat would be lit up right now, considering what just happened. At least this is the last one. We're only going to be 2 laps away from the end. Drag kicking and screaming to the end of Kyle Busch's alleged final Xfinity race. This late caution just got to make it last a little bit longer, you know. You got to drag this one out. Because we know you're all going to miss him in these Xfinity races. I'm sure Daniel Hemrick's really going to miss him after that. Oh, my goodness. What will he ever do without him? What will Daniel Hemrick ever do without his Cup teammate to fucking crash him? That really needed to happen. Woo! I love NASCAR. Between last night and today, I mean, fucking A, right?
Coming up next, Premier Lacrosse League, Redwoods versus the Whip Snakes, and then tonight, 8 o'clock, men's basketball. That's right, Europe versus the USA.
God, I got to pee. Can this race hurry up and get over with? Oh, yeah, he just wrecked his teammate and got the lead. And he's going to only have to run 2 laps here. It's going to be a green, white, checkered, basically.
3 o'clock, countdown to green.
I feel bad for Hemrick, but I totally saw it coming.
Racing right here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Here we come to the choose box. The 54 goes to the bottom. Moffitt bottom behind him. Yeah, Kyle's good. There's no competition up here for him. There's no competition up here. Kyle Busch has this in the bag.
0-2 of Moffitt follows Kyle Busch in the bottom.
Done deal, ladies and gentlemen.
We talk about the 0-2 of Moffitt, our motorsports. And remember, you know, he's a Truck Series champ.
Because the 0-2 ain't going to win. The 11's got the best tires, but he picked the outside line like a fucking knob for a reason.
Front 2 rows. On the outside lane, though, we have the 10 and the 11, 2 Colic cars.
Can the 2 Colic cars coordinate a decent fucking restart from that shitty outside line? I don't know.
You know, we want to secure a big finish to top 5. I think we take the bottom. You want to go for the win, we take the top. It'll be green, white, checker.
You're not going to get the win from the top. They're full of shit telling Jeb Burton that.
Green, white, checker. So you want to win a race, let's go to the top and try it.
Well, that's an easy choice. You got to win in the bank. You know you're in the playoffs.
As long as Kyle Busch controls this restart, he's got it in the bag.
And will we have better traction on that outside line with those newer tires? Will that be just the advantage?
Oh, the journey we've traveled to get to this point.
Try to take this car.
Isn't this phenomenal?
Beat this 54, Kyle Busch.
Moffitt needs a win to make it into the playoffs. Kyle Busch racing for his 5th
Excuse me.
win of the 2021 season, joining 3 drivers.
2 laps. My leaderboard's way ahead, but I can't see it. As you know, I'm on the NBC app. I'm way behind.
As the only drivers to do it, 5 straight.
Here we go. 2 to go. Overtime. Not a bad restart for the 10. The 54 had a bad restart, but he's got a better push on the bottom from Moffitt. Why don't you just give it to him, Moffitt? Fucking A. Yeah, it's over.
Jeb is right there. Can he stay on that quarter panel for the quarter exit here?
Yep, Kyle Busch. Go! He gets loose! He gets loose! Jeb Burton's to the inside. Yes! Come on. Nah, he's not going to get it. Kyle Busch just charged the corner from the outside in 3. I thought Jeb had a shot off a 2. White flag. It's over.
One more time around.
Yeah. Done deal. Jeb had a chance, but didn't get it done. Kyle Busch pulls ahead easily into 1.
Second win in the Xfinity Series.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to get off here. I got to go to the movies. I got to get ready to go.
He mentioned when he got to 100.
The Chinless Wonder lucks into another one because he wrecked his teammate.